But like, part 1 has a foreshadow to something in part 5.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'll definitely have to check that out.
But there's for the OPs for part 4, there's crazy noisy disco version, which
Okay.
it's okay.
I think that's the only one I actually truly dislike.
There's Chase, there's
Love
Great
that.
Days, which is the breakdown one. There's Great Days Reverse, and then there's Great Days Units version.
Okay. And what's up with them still putting Shigechi into the OP when he just got yeeted like 8 to 10 episodes ago?
Shigechi, why? Poor Shigechi. That hurt
Do you
a
have
lot.
a Shigechi thing?
Yeah, right here. My buddy got it for me for
Oh.
Christmas like 2 years back.
Nice.
Yeah. little Shigechi.
Like, I'm not gonna lie. I have this. I think I have the same reaction Okyasu did. Like, I hated him, but I still am kind of sad and like I don't know how to feel. Huh?
I was talking to someone in my chat.
But yeah, like I didn't like him, but I felt really bad that he died. I think the thing that made me feel really bad is the fact of how like really realistically he was a greedy little fuck, but he was like super honorable under the point of like I can't let Mama and Papa live in a town with this kind of person. And I was like, oh.
And just seeing him just stumble through the halls in the high school, and everyone's like, let's get the fuck away from this kid.
He's obviously in serious like trouble. Like, why is no one helping this kid?
The worst thing, he's like, Josuke's right there. He can heal me. He can use Shining Diamond to heal me. I gotta save Mama and Papa. And then he touches it, and then you just see Oshikage Kira and Killer Queen. Killer Queen already touched the doorknob. Click. And then just nothing. He disappears.
Yeah, he's just a like. So the thing that doesn't make sense is how was Harvest able to still go? Or like was that how strong his mind was at the end that he was able to push one final like go?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I was like, wait,
his willpower was so strong. His willpower was so strong.
I do kind of feel bad. The only thing I didn't like is why do they make his head pointy? Why do they make a bunch of little points? It was so weird.
Yeah.
I really like he's probably not important again, but the alien. I can't remember his act.
Oh yeah.
Is he not important anymore? Was he only like a filler episode?
He shows up like another time, I do believe. But like, yeah, he's not important at all.
So they confused me. I'm not sure if he was actually a stand user that's just really like fucking with someone, or he's actually an alien and actually brainwashed his quote unquote mother.
I think he's actually a stand user.
Okay. The fact that he can just transform into shit's kind of dope. He got really... Well, I don't understand the sirens thing. So is he a stand user and an alien? Or did that like small nick that the photo dude cause a stand to get with him? Because it said his stand is technically, it's like, let's say Terra Venus.
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know.
And what's up with this fucking... Why do they introduce ghosts and shit?
What?
Like, the fact that this dude can like control shit, like he's a ghost, but he's like full-blown tangible, floating around on a raven inside a crow inside of a photo, just yeeting arrows at people.
Yeah, you know.
Fucking Kira's dad's whack.
You know. Yeah, you know.
Araki. That's the only answer.
Yeah, it's just Araki.
Oh, I got into an argument today on a JoJo's page on Facebook, and like a bunch of people were legitimately coming after like people who stand like Speedwagon. And they're all like, Speedwagon's a trash character. He was never anything good. Like, he was just plot context and all this shit. They needed a rich person. They could have just swapped it out with like the Joestars and their money and then put some organization around there. I'm like, did y'all forget the huge character development that this man's had? Like, from being someone who's going to try to kill people and rob them in an alleyway on Ogre Street, and then the main rider for 50 years for the Joestars? Like, did we miss that part?
I stan Speedwagon.
I do stand Speedwagon. I love Speedwagon.
Speedwagon stan.
Well, that show is
Even
so
Speedwagon
good.
was afraid.
What?
From part 2.
Part 2.
About when when the Pillarmen come out.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
Speedwagon's there. Even Speedwagon was afraid.
That show is so good, so good.
It's
Even people who
fantastic.
don't like
Now
anime, I think they need to watch that.
now you know why I don't shut up about it.
Yeah.
I'm a typical JoJo fan. I don't fucking shut up about JoJo.
Are they? Is it just gold? Not gold experience, but Vento Oreo that's done, or is the next one done as well?
Ventorio, that's it.
Okay, so that's the next one, right? That's 5.
Yeah.
Aren't they? I thought they were doing some. Is Steel Ball Run next, or no? Stone Ocean's next, right?
Stone Ocean's next, yeah. Then it goes
Okay.
Steel Ball Run.
I'm gonna start having to pick up the fucking mangas because
They're
I
really.
want to know what happens.
I don't think we have. I don't know if part 4's done in English in the official mangas.
Oh, that's pretty fucking cool.
You might have to go like onto a website and
Okay.
get the fan translations.
I have I got Crunch. I ended up getting Crunchyroll Premium, so like I'm sure I can find something in there. No,
No,
they don't have. Well, if I pull up on a computer, I could probably just do auto translate. No, it's not in text. It's in fucking yeah. Damn, it's in panels. I can't do that if it's not text.
Yeah, you probably just have to go to like
Yeah,
I think it's called like Manga Panda or something has it.
Okay.
I'll take a look, see see what's available.
And then so I looked into some stuff for Steel Ball Run. I don't even know what the fuck's going on. Like,
Jesus told me I have to kill the president of the United States.
see, I haven't even looked fully into that part. It's just I'm trying to
Secret
comprehend
Service.
Johnny and Diego right now.
Yep.
Because Johnny is like fucking paralyzed, and then he's not.
Yeah.
I'm very confused. Stone Ocean looks interesting though.
It's Jolene.
Yeah,
Jolene
and then,
Cujo.
Jolene,
that's Jotaro's daughter, I imagine, right?
Jotaro becomes a marine biologist.
Isn't he? He's already like a leading in science or some shit, isn't he?
Yeah. But well, he's at the end of the beginning at part 5. He's the head of the Speedwagon Foundation,
Okay.
and then he gets bored of that, so he becomes a marine biologist.
Fucking is that why everything's like marine based now? Like everything has like an anchor or some shit on it? They got rid of the hard idea and now it's all anchors and little sailor caps.
No. Well, because that's
In Stone Ocean.
well, Stone Ocean, because Jolene's basically prisoned on Alcatraz.
Oh.
She's a prisoner.
Oh. Okay. That's not great.
And then when we get further ahead after Steel Ball Run into I forget what part 8 is called.
So something I kind of just noticed is we kind of hijacked this into Anime Corner.
Yeah.
It's all good.
JoJo
A good
Part
original.
8.
Yeah.
Joe Jolion, yeah. Joe Jolion, it's basically they're on like it's ships. It's very ship oriented. And that stars Joseph.
Okay.
That stars Joseph Joestar.
With like the whole Jojolion. Is that like another season or is that something else?
Joe Jolion is part 8 of JoJo, but it's alternate timeline. That's when shit gets alternate timelines. Because Joseph Joestar and Dio Brando are in it.
Are Joseph's in it?
Yeah.
Joseph. There's another Joseph?
This is alternate timeline.
Right, I know there's Johnny.
Johnny Joestar is Steel Ball Run.
Oh, okay. So Jojolion is that's where that's the alternate version of Josuke, right? That's where he's wearing like the super tiny sailor hat. Not super tiny.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, that's Josuke. Sorry, yeah, that's Josuke. Yeah. Yeah. Josuke and I think it's Yoshikage Kira. Also, I could be wrong though.
Because I know Steel Ball Run brings back Johnny, which is Jonathan, then Diego, which is Dio.
Yeah, but yeah, it's once Steel Ball Run hits, that's when it gets
So
everything prior gets thrown out the fucking window.
okay, so they're kind of like doing like a whole retcon and resetting JoJo at that point.
Yeah, that's the
Okay.
reset essentially.
Okay,
That
that's
takes
New
place.
52. Got it.
That takes place in the U.S. during the westward expansion in the 1800s.
It was like 1816, right? Because that's
Yeah,
what I heard something about that when
around
they were doing the horse races.
Yeah, and it's just a big chariot race across the U.S. And along the way, Johnny has to pick up pieces of Jesus.
Okay, pieces of Jesus.
Mm-hmm. He has to find the bones of Jesus Christ.
I feel like someone didn't supervise Araki, and Araki just went wild.
Nobody supervises Rocky. He's a fucking madman. He's like Hideo Kojima.
I was gonna say, what do you think would happen if you put Kojima and Araki in the same room and said work together?
It would be the weirdest trip ever, but it'd be great.
Oh yeah, beautiful 22-hour movie or anime
Mhm.
TV show, one of the two.
Yeah.
Oh my. Oh, that'd be great. Well, we can talk about more of this on Anime Corner.
Some other day.
Yeah, because I could keep going. I got so much shit to talk about that show. It's become unhealthy, which how much I like look into and pay attention. And last night before I went to bed, I just sat on my phone looking through different JoJo stuff. And
Oh,
then
that's the JoJo wiki is a dangerous place to be when it's like 2 a.m. Next time you look up from your phone, it's like the sun's coming up.
Yep, it's wild. I love that show. It's definitely up there in the top 3 favorite animes of all time. It's got such a. It's hard to say like the whole anime's got a good plot point, but each season has an extremely good plot point that all tie into each other somehow.
There isn't a bad
So
thing
good.
in that show. There isn't a bad like season.
Mm-mm. And like a lot of people were actually talking about how they didn't like Phantom Blood at all, but like I thought it was really good. It was well done.
It was a good point.
It's arguable that it's obviously not the best season, but it's a really good fucking season. And I personally love Jonathan. I'm a big fan of Jonathan. Apparently, they changed his hair color from the manga though. It wasn't actually supposed to be blue. I didn't know that.
It was blonde, I think, or brown.
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of Caleb IA and Forts X Forts videos that just talk a shit ton about JoJo's.
Once you get done with part 4, watch Super Eye Patch Wolf's 2-part episode on what's in an OP on
Okay.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, because he breaks apart the openings for every season, and it's fantastic.
And the thing that was really interesting that I couldn't tell in the 3rd season is that none of Jotaro's hats fully have a back.
No, they don't.
They're just like blown out. It's so weird. But we'll get off of this because everyone seems like they're kind of bored.
They're 20-minute preamble.
Yeah.
On JoJo.
That's what the preamble's there for. Just get it.
We got a little bit of Anime Corner. You should go check that out too.
For anyone who's listening, when we start the actual thing too, I'll make sure I mention that as well. So let me know when you guys are ready. We'll get going. We'll do the countdown.
Fuck, we might need to redo part 1. The part 1 Anime Corner, by the way. I think I accidentally deleted it.
That's fine. We can
talk about it again.
We could just do a like a full talk from 1 to the end and then chop it up so we have shit to do for like backlog.
A while. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I could go on about each season for probably at least half an hour, if not more.
Let me know when you guys are ready.
Yep, I'm ready.
Okay, everyone good? Count it down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, once again to another week of the Level Unlock Podcast, episode 65. Level 65, floor 65. We are here. It is the drive to 69. We are 4 away, boys. And then we are restarting.
To 69.
Welcome.
Just do like Level Unlocked Podcast episode 1, part 2, or part
There you
2,
go.
episode 1, and just continue.
Just continue it over each time. Part 3, episode 1,
Just
until we get to
retcon it.
69, just every single time. Make it a thing. But welcome, everybody. Welcome to all the new viewers, all current 4,250 followers on Podbean. Thank you very much for that. And also, thank you guys for making the last 2 weeks the most downloaded podcasts out of any episode that we ever had. 250 downloads between the last 2 weeks, making those specifically the most two downloaded podcasts we've ever had, which is absolutely phenomenal. Cannot thank you guys enough for that. And we much, much, much appreciate you. Also, thank you to our 3 Patreons. We love you. We appreciate you. Please check out the Patreon. We got a bunch of content that just got uploaded. If you would like to be a part of that, as well as prior to this, we did a preamble, a good 25-minute preamble about some anime. So if you want to listen to that, you want to join.
We as in me and Nate.
Yes. If you do want to listen to that, hear what happens, you can follow the Patreon at patreon.com/levelunlockpodcasts, where there is different tiers to unlock different items. And make sure you follow us on all the different socials. And let's get right into it. Let's dive in. Got some decent news. We got some concerts that happened over the weekend. Some gaming concerts. We had some rock paper scissors. We have a couple different thingamajigs, thingamabobs that kind of went down. So make sure you stick around for the news because it's going to be a doozy. But first, let's go around the horn. Let's go around the barrel. And how's everyone doing? What's everyone been up to? And how's your weeks? Start with Schroeder. What's going on, man? How you been?
Pretty good, man. Staying busy. Staying super ultra busy. Lots of buttons to push. I've been playing a lot of Elite Dangerous this week, actually. And just kind of still settling in, I suppose. Shout out to my homeboy Major. He actually, I just had to pay for shipping, but he sent me a sweet ass keyboard and mouse.
Nice.
He got tired of hearing my spacebar. We were gaming together.
That's funny. Aren't you
Yeah,
using like a 15-year-old keyboard or something? That's what I thought.
I'm gonna frame
Nice.
it. It is it's actually the first keyboard I ever actually got. It's old Dell, like military grade keyboard. It's got a cat card reader in it and everything.
Nice.
Jesus.
Fucking
Yeah,
rad.
yeah. I beat the shit out of it. But it's held strong for this entire time. Honestly, the only reason the spacebar is kind of broken is because I went to clean.
Yeah, weren't you messing with it?
Yeah, I went to clean it, and apparently spacebars have this little bar that runs along the back that has to be clipped in as well. It's really hard to get that clip on there, enough to make you give up after not too long. Still works, but now it goes clink, like it's really loud. It's annoying. So, that's pretty cool. So that happened.
That's awesome. Shout out to Major. What's up, man?
Yeah, awesome, dude. But other than that, I'm slowly building an armada, one at a time. Seriously, in the last week, started out with I actually was just gonna jump into it, and then I'm like, oh, my buddy Steve's on. So actually, I don't know
That's how
if
it goes.
I don't think he did have it yet. I don't know when he got the Elite Dangerous, but he started playing it, and it's like his main shit. He's got a VR now, and like the whole setup, and he plays on a 50-inch TV, and he's just I can't even imagine. Well, I guess since he's gotten the VR, he doesn't need the 50-inch TV anymore. But God, that's so dope. Could you imagine?
Awesome.
So, for those that don't know, Elite Dangerous is a hyper-real spaceflight simulator, and it takes place in like the year 3600s, and
The distant future.
the
year
distant
3000.
future. And when I say hyper-real, I mean it's hyper-real. There's so many buttons in that game. If you really want to see a funny video that kind of talks about it, it's why Elite Dangerous VR is a nightmare. It's a video that talks about the game from the standpoint of VR, but you don't need VR to play it. I don't play with VR. Most people don't play with VR. So you can take everything that dude says and just apply it to the regular game as well. but the shit is crazy. Like I seriously feel like I can go down to the airport, hop in a spaceship, and fly away. Like it's no big deal. Like there are,
Do it, pussy.
there's well over, there's probably realistically there really is probably over 100 buttons to the whole
Damn.
process to everything. There's probably 100 buttons.
That's awesome. They did that to make it more realistic. It'd be a pain in
Yeah,
the fucking dick, though.
it is. A lot of people, like, if I'll be honest, if I came and sat down and went to play one day and all my macros are messed up, I
Might give up.
I'd be
You
real
just be
mad.
like, I'm done.
I'd have another broken keyboard probably. But to give you a little idea, I play with my joystick. This is what it requires me to play. This super fancy mouse.
Ooh.
Yep. That's what my buddy sent me. It's gangsta keyboard that has a bunch of macros on the side of it, wherever those are
Nice.
up here.
Tight.
That's
Oh, is
awesome.
that the one that has like the quick bars for the games you want to play?
Yeah,
like
it's
a
the
G502
G19. This is the G19. It's a couple years old. That's the other reason he gave it to me, because he got a new one. So he's like, I don't even need this fucking thing. I also use a numerical keypad.
Holy
Is there
shit.
not a keypad on the keyboard?
No,
No,
I
he
need
needs another one.
I need
Oh
two.
god.
And an Xbox controller.
So
That is
God.
no joke. What I use to play Elite Dangerous.
how do you
That-
program the extra numerical keyboard? Like, does
Yeah.
it recognize it as an external thing, or is it like the same input? Or do you have
Was
to
it hard?
Do you have to set it up a certain way? Like, how do you do that? I'm curious.
What the fuck is the name of that program?
Like auto hotkeys, or
Yeah,
okay.
pretty much. Yep.
That
Yeah.
sounds like a pain in the ass.
Oh, it's a bitch to set up, but when you're
Yeah.
sitting there and you're about to do some shit and you're like bloop bloop bloop, bloop
It does it
bloop,
all
bloop,
for you, and you're
You're a
like,
fucking
"Alright,
command
no
center."
problem."
like you're like, I'm gonna fucking take on the world. The universe is
Jesus.
mine. So
So-
here's another fascinating. Oh, go ahead.
I was just say, is it so realistically, is it possible to play with just one keyboard and a mouse? Or do you imagine it's probably insanely difficult?
You probably have to, like, the reason I have so many buttons is so I don't have to go to 100 menus. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, in order to get to the galaxy menu, which one of the neat things about this game is they actually it's procedurally generated, but it pulls from the NASA star maps.
Okay.
So if you were to open up the galaxy map so you could see your location, you're at a star. And as you scroll out, you can see all of the other stars, all the way out until you're in the entire Milky Way system. And every single star has a corresponding NASA thing on it, and as much information as they can actually have gathered on it. And you can literally visit every single body. You can visit black holes, you can visit various nebulae, you can visit freaking one of my favorite things, which is quasars and white dwarf stars, and you see some of the most fascinating things because it's super realistic. So you can literally pull up to a planet that has a beautiful canyon system, and you actually have these SRVs. These are these little like go-kart thingies that can drive around on almost on. You can't go on any of the planets that have an atmosphere yet. That's something they're talking about doing next. But any planet that does not, you can land on it and like drive around the planet essentially. And you can catch some of these photo moments that are just astounding. Like if you were to even Google or YouTube beautiful Elite Dangerous moments, you'll probably find an archive, like tons of stuff, because it is by far one of the prettiest games in that respects. And it's just so neat that you can visit anything out there that's really out there. I don't know. It's a super fascinating game, and it has so many different levels. All the way. I mean, you can fly around and be a space pirate or a bounty
Yeah.
hunter or
Can you
you can
fly
go
into
on.
black holes?
You can fly into black holes. Yeah.
What happens when you do?
I'm pretty sure you eventually blow up. I don't know.
Doesn't say.
I feel like I watched a video where somebody did it and everything just turned inside out and something happened, but I don't remember, because that's another neat thing about this game is that it's one of those types of games that you can set down and not play for 7, 8, a year and a half, you know, and pick it up and be very angry because your macros aren't working anymore, or you don't remember them. You don't remember
Yeah.
them. honestly, there's so many fucking buttons, you just simply don't remember them all. So I don't know, man. I recommend it highly. I give it a 10 out of 10. Now, here's the thing about it: it is definitely 100% not the type of game. Not if you're the type of person that likes to just jump into the action right away. No, no. This is definitely not a game for you. You eventually can get to a point where you can hop into a ship and just go fly somewhere and do some dog fighting for a while if you want. But it's by far one of the steepest learning curves I've ever crossed paths with. And every other person that I have that has played it says the same exact thing. But every single person that has taken the time to learn how to do it, all of them say it's one of the best games, one of the most one of the most enjoyable experiences out of a game. When you talk about getting your money out of it, yeah. And for anybody who is interested in checking it out, by the time this releases, I don't know if it will still be on sale, but presently for the two pieces, which is typical, which is Elite Dangerous and then the expansion the Horizons, which is what allows you to land on planets. I do recommend it. Um, it's usually $60 for those two, and presently on Humble Bundle, they're each one of them is $9. So it's definitely a game I recommend. um, but that is what I've been doing with quite a bit of my time, and it is one of those things I haven't. I've walked away from the keyboard for like a half hour at a time to just do things around the house. So the amount of time I
Just let
have
it
on it
automate.
isn't. Yeah, yeah. There's a bit of that involved, like in it. It's a good game. I'd recommend at least watching videos on it. But other than that, I haven't been as productive as I'd like to have been. I'll be honest. That game
Can't
has
really
really
do
been
much right
pulling
now.
my attention. Yeah, but still, at the same time, like I was thinking about this the other day. You have all these, what about that book you said you'd work on? You know what I mean? Like that book you've always said you're gonna write. That
Yeah.
that script you're always, you've always wanted to do that. Those paintings you've wanted to make. Everybody has all this time to do stuff. I wonder how many people are actually doing the things that they said they would do if they had the time to do it. Like actually, one of the things I want to do is I want to get my situation sorted out so I can start making those high quality YouTube videos like I used to do. The ones that take like 40 hours for a half hour episode, because those were fun to make, but god damn, they took too long. Jesus Christ. I'd spend like 4 hours just trying to find a good soundtrack for the whole video,
Hmm.
you know?
But that's production. Like if you want to create something really good that you care about, that's what you're doing.
Yeah,
Mhm.
pretty much.
That's a full-time
Pretty
job,
much.
you know.
It was a full time job, dude. I got burnt out. I was working the 8 hours a day and then coming home and doing that from the time I woke or the time I got home to the time I went to bed. I got burnt
Yep.
out pretty hard. Time management's like,
Well,
balance.
you guys remember when I did that Katamari review? That took me fucking forever to
That
between
man.
playing the game, capturing the footage, writing the script, rewriting the script, having people look at the script, me not feeling confident in the script, so rewriting the script again, and then doing the voiceovers, editing everything. That took fucking forever for a 10-minute video that got like 3 views.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, but yeah, it's tough. Yeah, a lot of my videos don't have it is it does
I
make
don't
you
care.
feel. Yeah, but at the same time, there's a level of that. There's a part of you. I don't know about you, but there's a part of me that just you put that much time into it and you want it.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It'd be nice to see that more people are seeing it. Like you know.
You get discouraged.
I mean,
little-
It's almost like
realistically, even Markiplier's first games probably only had like 2 or 3 views. Like,
Oh, everybody.
you start
yeah,
somewhere.
everyone starts somewhere.
Yeah, it's a long process.
It
Unless
just
you're-
popped up. Aim Raid is playing Elite Dangerous, so he
Mhm.
must have heard it, and he was like, "Ah, I got the itch."
Yeah.
Everyone's starting to talk about that game. Like, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like the game I'd get into.
I got too much.
I like
on my
to do
palate-
things.
My plate.
There's plenty to do in it. It isn't for everybody. It really isn't. Just I don't know. I would watch a few more YouTube videos if you were even thinking about scooping it and just to see if it is because it isn't for everybody. It's a slow like one of the like the other day I was just mining. So I'm flying around. So I try to I open up the galaxy map and I click on a couple of the solar systems around me and I find one that has a planet that has rings around it. So I fly over to that celestial body and pull out my scanner and I shoot a probe at the rings. And the probes identify a few hot spots that have high value resources. So you fly into that. Then you're flying around, through the asteroids for as long as you want. In my case, I was doing it for probably about 3 hours. Slowly, and you pull the trigger, and it does this pulse wave through the rocks, identifying rocks that actually have some value to them. So you find the rock finally after, because they're rare, every 10, 15 minutes is when you'll spot a mother lode is what they call them. So you fly over to the rock and you launch a little robot that attaches itself to the rock and you scan it. The probe identifies to you what's in it. From there, it will then identify fissures in the rock. So you slowly fly around the rock. Meanwhile, I'm doing this in an 18-wheeler in respects to the various sizes of ships. I'm doing it in the largest one there is. And I'm slowly balleting around this asteroid, launching like explosives into these fissures. And as soon as you fire one, a countdown starts, and there's a balancing act with how long you hold the trigger to how powerful the explosion will be. And on the side is a gauge that will that that identifies to you how powerful the explosion will be when the timer goes off. Because if it's too powerful, you'll destroy your booty, which you're going after. But if it's not strong enough, you won't crack the rock. So you have to slowly, float around this thing with a 2-minute tension timer, launching these little projectiles into this stone, and then after the timer goes off, it does create one of the most satisfying explosions in a game. Um, from there, the thing erupts, and little bits of resources pop out and float through space, and some are still attached to the rocks. So I send out my little robots to go scoop them up and put them in my cargo hold, and I fly around shooting the extra stuff off, which is falling off as well, and the robots are gathering that, and then you move on to the next ones, and it's a very slow, methodic, like, I don't know, what is the word? Is methodic the right word for it? What is it when you're like
Yeah, no, I guess it
cathartic?
would be methodic.
Meticulous.
Cathartic, whatever it means to just be like chill and very relaxed.
Cathartic, probably.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then you get scanned by somebody and it breaks off everything, and you're like, oh my fire, because you have like $1 million worth of stuff on your cargo. That does happen, but that didn't happen to me. Um, so that's what I mean. But so it isn't for everybody. If you're somebody that likes to jump into a game real fast and immediately start shooting things and killing things, which there's nothing wrong with that, but it's not that type of game.
You would
So
say it's like slower than the beginning of Arc? Much
you could
slower?
no, not really, because you can choose it to be.
Okay.
If you knew how to play, I could start a new character and immediately buy a ship that can do some dog fighting and go out and honestly, that is true. It's really how you take it, but for somebody who's never played for it, it takes a long time to learn how to play it, and it's a very slow process. And you kind of have some skin in the game, because if your ship blows up, there's an insurance buy to buy your ship back. And if, say, for instance, you buy a $10 million ship, which is actually an incredibly cheap ship, but if you buy a $10 million ship and the insurance on it is like 50,000, if you don't have the 50,000, well then your ship's gone. You have to start a new
Okay.
ship. So I mean, it's fun. It's um
Weren't you
well, yeah.
saying there's like Star Wars esque battles that happen in that game too? Like they are
Yeah.
just like battalions of people fighting each
Oh
other?
yeah. They have these things in it called high and low conflict zones. And when you
Okay.
roll up into a conflict zone, you're kind of like on the outside of the bubble of it, and there's a Star Wars battle happening right in front of you,
That's
and then you
crazy.
go into your contacts, section of you, if you have VR or you're using a mouse, I like to use the button, but you look over to this menu, and there's a contact section in that list, and you pick a side, and you pick the side you want, and then all those people show up as red, and then you just fucking go at it, and you actually get accommodations and rewards for fighting, and things like that. I mean, you make money that way. Um, so if you did want to, yes, technically you could just jump right into battle. But if you've never played it, it's probably gonna. I don't know. it depends on your learning curve, but it will take a bit of time in just learning how to fucking pilot your plane. And then, even to this day, I'm still adjusting my buttons and changing things as I figure new things out. You know, so you can go as fast as you want if you know how. Otherwise, it's a slow process.
Good shit.
It
Go
does
game.
sound like it could definitely be interesting. It just sounds like it's a lot to start.
Ugh, it
I
is.
don't know if I have the time for all that.
Yeah, I know, man. You have to, it is. It'll take some of it. So, but other than that, buddies, I haven't been doing a whole too lot. The only other exciting thing that has happened in my world is my local corner store. I asked them to get a specific drink that I like a whole lot because I called like 13 different country fairs and every other damn store in the entire town to find these. I even called the Pepsi distributor. Asked if they could tell me
Fuck.
where they were delivering these to. I said, "Is there any chance you can tell me what stores might carry the Rockstar Organics? Because they're my favorite ones." And the lady's like, "Oh no, but they're out there." I'm like, "Well, I called like a ton of people, and none of no, they're out there. They must have got a new can." I was like,
Oh, really?
Bitch, please.
"Carrot,
That's
Tell me
wild.
more.
I was like,
how are you gonna tell me what the can of my favorite drink looks like?" Like,
Oh no, they changed it, sweetie. Just look around, you'll find it.
yeah, yeah.
You're not
I'm
looking
like,
hard enough.
yeah. You look back through the podcast and the various streams, 90% of the time I'm drinking these.
Yep.
Like,
You are.
yeah. So I went to the corner store and it's a little Indonesian market and they're very lovely people. They're very nice people. And I says to him, I says, "Hey, is there any chance you guys can get those in?" And the dude's like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll see what we can do. Check back on Thursday." Check back on Thursday. The whole bottom row, bro.
That's insane. All the
And you're like, oh my god, I'm taking 4.
Dude, I bought like 12 of them. I was like, yeah.
That's awesome.
That's the cool thing about those places is like they're completely
They
independent,
have a
so they
lot
can
more
just do
control,
whatever
yeah.
the fuck
They have
they
way
want.
more
Yeah.
control over what they carry.
Like-
They got hot pockets in that bitch, bro.
Yeah.
Yes.
You said it's like a little Indian market, correct?
Yeah.
I
It's
love it.
awesome.
That's
You're
awesome.
you were a
Great.
fan of chocolate?
Of course.
So,
I wonder if they
dude,
can get
next time you go in to any of the Indian stores, look for the candy called Alibaba.
Okay.
They are these little chocolate coffee-ish kind of wafer things, and they're so
Oh,
good.
I've seen those.
Yeah, they're like super like they're in a blue I mean, it
think
could be
I have
purple. I'm
too. I think I've
colorblind
seen
as
them.
shit, so I'm not positive. but it's in this blue or purple packaging. It kind of looks almost like Nestle, like Crunch Bar esque, but it's a lot
Yeah.
thinner. And they're like these like almost like a nutty bar kind of idea. But it's like this coffee-ish chocolate. They're so good. Me and my buddies used
sure,
to get like at least like you could buy a case of them for like $7 because they
awesome.
can get them in so cheap.
I when I lived in Texas, there was one up the road. I went to go buy a pack of beer. The lady looks at me. She's like, "Are you 21?" I said, "Yeah." She's like, "Oh, okay, never mind." And I was like,
You're like, nah.
"Just be like, no, I'm not."
Well,
Oh,
hey,
shit.
that's a big compliment for you.
Yeah. So
Ooh.
Apparently, you look younger than 21 to some people.
I went to when I went to go get my alcohol, the rocks liquor. The guy looked at me and he was like, "How old are you?" And I was like, "You me?" I was like 30, and he was like, "Hmm." I was like,
Okay.
I don't know what that means.
Like, what do you mean?
Dude, that was 2 days ago. He was like, "Hmm," and he's typed it in.
30.
Okay.
It's the I'm not sure
30.
about this one checkbox next to
Yeah. Keep an eye
Like,
on
yeah,
this guy.
seems like a two round number, like it was too spot on.
30 seems thought about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you thought about this going into the store before you went in. Anyone asked, I'm 30
Don't
years
lie.
old.
I got I tried to show him my license. He's like, "No, you're good." Yeah, okay.
You're trying too hard, please stop.
That doesn't fucking make me feel very good, huh, sir?
Yeah, just
Ah,
wanted to
you
see
got
how
anything
you're
else?
feeling.
Yeah, I know, right? Got anything else, Schroeder?
Nah, man, that's pretty much been my my week.
What about you, Nate?
Yeah, that's it.
So obviously I was missing last week.
You
So
had the
kind
depth
of to-
disease.
push everything together. Within these past 2 weeks, I've just been playing a lot of Rainbow Six. Realistically, the game I've been playing probably the most has been Code Vein, which that game is phenomenal. Like Bandai Namco, everyone knows them. They make good games. They published, developed. I think developed the
Published.
second and third published the second and third Souls games. I don't know if they did Bloodborne or not. Did they do Bloodborne? Do you know? No, they
that
didn't. That was fully from soft. Right?
Bamco did Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3. Sony did Demon Souls and Bloodborne.
Yeah, okay.
They published them.
Yeah, because Sony was like, "Oh yeah, these games worked really well." But so basically, the long short of the game. Oh god, it's so good. The storyline is so good. But bunch of people were. I don't know how to explain. There was a thing called the Great Collapse that had happened. The Great Collapse was this. The game's really hard to explain. So, because there's no, it tells you everything that had happened directly after the Great Collapse. There was the war with Queen. Then there was the Project Queen thing, which was to take out the Queen. Because, so I'll just try to explain the best I can. There's a bunch of people that everyone used to be normal people, and they're still humans, but they're stuck over in the provisional government because there's so few and far in between. They still need people, and everyone else is pretty much what's called a revenant. A revenant is a vampire, like it's basically a vampire because they need to feed and they drink blood and all this shit. Now they're drinking what they have to do with these things called blood beads. And I can't talk about too much exactly where the blood beads come from because that spoils a huge part of the game. Because I found out where they came from. I'm like, oh shit. But so basically, to be as honest as I can, a lot of the game's like backstory comes from after beating a boss, and then you learn about what exactly happened, which ruins the beginning of the game. So, like I said, there's a bunch of vampire stuff, anime, super good story, soundtracks are awesome. Bless you. The game is just so good. You're fighting a bunch of fallen revenants called the Lost, and the Lost is what happens when a revenant suffers from thirst, not being able to drink any kind of blood at all. And oh Jesus, hi. Okay.
Ew.
What happens
Gross.
is, sorry, I'm gonna mark it PG-13 now. Oh, but no. So when a revenant suffers from thirst, they go into what's called frenzy, and then they just mutate into these creatures, and they all kind of turn into different creatures. Some of them just grow like this giant claw and like these horn looking things, and they still look fairly human like. Then others just turn to these giant fucking beasts that become bosses, or these like mini bosses that aren't actually bosses. They're just really heavy heavy NPC villains. If you've played a Souls game, you got the gist of it. You know exactly what I'm talking about. What's up?
Nate.
Yeah.
Oh.
I thought I heard someone else.
How long have you spent customizing your character in this game? How long would you say?
Like in total, just one character or building like.
Let's just do your main. How long? Because this is Fashion Souls, from what you've been saying.
Dude,
You've been treating this like Fashion Souls.
I play the game 100% like Fashion Vein, like for sure. I did the same thing with
one day
Bloodborne.
talking to Brandon, and you're like, I have to keep the continuity between the cutscenes.
Okay. So there was a thing that had happened that was in because you go into this one part of the game where it's the memories of your character, because you start off the game with having just woken up from your previous death, and when you die, you slowly lose your memories. Depending how ingrained they are or important they were to your soul staying intact and all this good stuff, and your heart's like the most important part. So like when you die, you could either lose a memory you never even remembered, or something super important, like this one girl lost a memory of her child. It's not super important, it's just secondary dialogue stuff. But customizing my character, because I really do have the need to keep continuity, because this one character had ended up shooting me after I did a certain thing, and because I was about to start suffering from what's called frenzy. My eyes started to like dilate. They changed. I was getting like these blue veins going up the side of my face, and I was starting to mutate. So he was my comrade during this fight, and he said, "So long, sleep well, my friend." And he fucking shoots me with a bloodshot right through the heart, and I fall off a cliff. He hasn't seen me, and I think it's the timeline's roughly like between 2 and 5
I hate
years.
it when that happens.
So he shoots me. I fall off. So the second the cutscene's over, I go back to the tower. I go into the customization, and I start building the scar on the side of my face, a like changed eye, and like because I realized the next thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to end up meeting him because I met him earlier. He didn't remember me, but this time I actually had to confront him, and he's like, "It's you. I killed you with my own hands. It wasn't something I had wanted to do, but you were suffering from frenzy because my mask had gotten broken. Basically, you're wearing these gas mask looking things because of the miasma that's in the air. The miasma speeds up thirst and causes you pretty much to go into like an instant frenzy. So that's what happened to me. And just on that part alone, I spent like 45 minutes. But in total, I've probably spent a good. I've played the game for 42 hours. I've probably spent a good 3.5 to 4.5 hours on customization. Because one night I decided to completely rework my characters, and so the problem is I wanted to make my guy a little bit taller. So I had to stop the game I was playing, go over, create a new character, save him to my save file, load him into my new game, and then continue customizing with how I wanted my previous character to look. So I had to redo my old character all the way on this slightly taller body because I realized I was shorter than this one person that I didn't like, and I just couldn't have that. But yeah, a lot of time when in that game, I like to make my characters look as like, depending on the situation. Once again, because Brandon doesn't understand this, and I have to keep continuity. Like it's got to make sense in the timeline. If something had happened that I'm injured from, I got to be injured. Even though like it's so minimal, and half of this is covered by the face mask you're wearing, I know it's there.
You know, with what you're saying there, you might like that Elite Dangerous. You know, you're gonna spend an hour making guy look nice. You might actually enjoy the mid maxing of that game.
Okay,
Nate,
I'll probably give it a shot.
you may think that this is a podcast, but in reality, this is just an intervention for your character customization problem.
Dude, if like so my first time playing Skyrim, dude, I sat there for like 2.5 to 3 hours. I getting him exactly how I wanted to. So if a game gives me the option to full blown customize my characters, it's a problem because I've just spent half the time it will probably take to play the game, like at least the first like 3 stories, I just spent in customization. Like I did the same thing. Like I'd have to go back in and wear battle torn stuff that didn't cause any like extra armor to be given or anything like that, but just to keep with me getting hit by like a dragon or some shit in like fucking Skyrim. Like I have to keep things with what had just happened in the story. It's a lot. But yeah, Code Vein's great. If you like Souls games, check that out. I think it's back to full price, but Namco games usually go on sale relatively frequently, not a lot, but they at least a couple times a year.
Yeah.
Solid game. The multiplayer works great. The queuing for multiplayer people works really good, especially if you're looking for just a random. They come pretty quickly. Other than that, I played a lot of Rainbow Six. Just kind of hanging out. Got called back into work, so I've been doing work again. Not a lot actually, and realistically, it feels like the days go a little bit faster now that with what we're doing, instead of just aimlessly waiting to talk to customers and whatnot. Now that I'm like consistently on the phone or doing something else in my spare time. I've also been watching a lot of JoJo's in multiple various places. But yeah, watching a lot of JoJo's, and I'm not going to really talk about that because just listen to the first half an hour of our preamble, and I talked a lot about JoJo's. But JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, for anyone unfamiliar, great anime, phenomenal series. Like, I was skeptical because, like, usually when people stand something this fucking hard, it's not actually that good. This is where I correct myself. This was fantastic. Definitely something to check out if you haven't. Other than that, I've been rewatching The Office again because why not?
Literally one of the best shows that's ever happened to TV.
Oh, 100%. It's so good. I'm not like I don't know why.
Yeah, where are
but,
you?
Andy's family just had his whole debacle, and he just went on the boat. And I stopped the episode right before he ended up snapping, and telling everyone to get off, buying it back, and just fucking going. Like he was sitting in the den with Aaron, and he's like, I am the captain. I am the captain.
I am the captain now.
This is my boat. I'm the captain. And he was about to go lose his shit on the fucking Ed
Yeah, 'cause-
Sheeran looking wannabe.
Yeah,
up
because
on
he
the
kept
top
slapping
deck.
his hand. He
Yeah.
kept slapping his hand.
God damn it, Dad!
Don't touch that.
Ed Helms is so underrated. Like I love Ed Helms so much.
Oh, he's hilarious. He's great.
He's so good. The only, like I said, I talked about this a couple weeks ago, but the only thing I've ever not liked of his isn't even because of him, but Coffee and Kareem was not a very good movie. But yeah, watching a lot of TV and stuff, playing a lot of video games. Other than that, I kind of messed with Unreal Engine, but I didn't really understand a lot of it, so I have to sit down and watch the video that's in the Discord. I just don't understand. Like I was trying to find like movement mechanics and shit, and I'm like, what am I doing? I can't find menus and shit. I just didn't understand how to work the thing at all. Like I was completely illiterate, just like speaking
we can-
French to me.
We could talk about this afterwards.
Okay.
I think I know how I can get
yeah,
you.
I think I know what's going on.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I opened it. I used Blueprint, and I think maybe that's another issue. Apparently, Blueprint's harder to use, from what I've heard. I don't know. I have no idea, but it was super difficult. I also don't know how to use C++, so that's why I didn't even touch that. I figured I could try to figure this out from here, but nah. I was just a character, and I was able to get him to move, and I went up and down a set of stairs a lot. Because that's all I had. Other than that, as far as I know, I didn't do very much. I don't think I did. I got new glasses, and they have blue light filters in them, and I'm really hyped because they're cool. And every time I look into like something and I can see like the blue, and James will actually understand this reference now because he's watched the movie. I feel like Gideon at the end when he did the blue lines in Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Yeah.
They go across because like if you can see, like it just blocks out the blue light, so it has a blue light filter, and it's just this blue like square that goes across, and it makes me feel like Gideon. I don't really like Gideon very much, but I thought it was kind of cool. But yeah, I have not had super exciting week in the regards of new stuff I've been doing. I can't think of anything else. I think I did something else, but I don't remember.
I know that's the thing about this Corona.
You guys probably talked about it last time, but I watched the movie. We all watched the movie. I know you guys probably talked about that.
Oh yeah,
but
we talked about that in length.
that was a thing.
Butt boy.
Yeah,
Oh
that
my
movie was
gosh.
something for sure.
Movie was nuts.
Oh, in the past 2 weeks, I've gotten into a couple hefty debates. That's for sure.
Master debater right there.
Yeah. It's something crazy. And just a heads up, I don't know if this is happening to anyone else, but for me, Mark, your audio is on point, but the video isn't caught up with it.
Makes sense.
Like your audio,
Oh yeah, you get
exactly,
a little bit of video
yeah.
delay.
We'll just join back. Yeah, that's better.
there you are.
There we
Yeah.
go, much better.
But yeah,
It
that's
was
all from
lagging
me,
for
honestly.
too. Not bad.
Mark, what you up to?
Nothing too crazy. I've honestly just been working a shit ton during this break. Like it's not been full time. It's only been like 30 or so hours a week, but I'm definitely staying busy, doing this sort of thing.
That's the
Video
important
game.
thing.
Yeah, video game wise, we've been playing a shit ton of Rocket League, at least as far as what I've been doing. A bunch of Rocket League. I tried out Elite Dangerous. The tutorials took a shit ton of time, and I got too angsty and couldn't really sit through it. So I might have to go through it again. It's the first time I played it was on VR, so the experience was a lot different. And so I remember playing it for a while and then just kind of getting bored, which now I can understand where that came from. It's just like I kind of have to be into it and stuck into it, and I guess I just haven't really gotten there yet. So yeah, we'll see if I get back into Elite Dangerous. I've been playing a shit ton of Planet Coaster as well in my free time. So like
Nice.
whenever it's late, I would be playing that, going through the scenarios, trying to get
Nice.
all 3 stars on everything. Just because I think it's fun and I enjoy it. So I've been thinking about streaming that just for shits and giggles. But yeah,
I'd
who
watch
knows
it.
who knows whenever I actually stream. Yeah, I would have fun. So that's all that really matters, I
Yeah,
guess. I also played Drug Dealer Simulator this week.
saw that when you popped up. It just said you were playing drug dealer. Me and Brandon were like, "What the fuck is he doing?"
Yeah,
What's it called?
Drug Dealer Simulator. It's on Steam. It's unto my understanding that it's the first game by this developer. It feels like an early access game. Like I can see the potentials there. You simulate being a drug dealer. So some dude hollers
Well,
at you,
it,
says
it
some dude hollers at you,
accomplishes
says
it.
I want a gram of whatever, a gram of spice, and you're like, all right, I got you. And if you have it, you you split it up, and then you put it into a little bag and deliver it, and you get some cash out of it. Otherwise, you message the cartel. The cartel, put some drugs somewhere, and then split it up and give it to your dude. Repeat. Like,
Nice.
So like you said, it felt like an early
Just like
access
real
game.
life.
Does it feel like well done, or the controls good, or like does it feel like a lot of things need tweaked, or does it play well?
it just needs polished. Like,
Okay.
it feels like like all of the things that are there function and work, but it could be done a lot better. Like, there's
Okay.
a handful of the menu systems that don't really work too well. Like, for example, if you have a big bag of drugs that you want to split out into something, you gotta like right click on the big bag of drugs, and then like go into a menu and then click like add to pile or something. Then that
This
adds
feels
it
like
into there,
real.
and then you gotta click like right click on that and then click size or like add to mix. Then you determine the size of that and then you portion it off into that. And it's like so many little things you gotta do. It's just way too confusing UI wise. Like, I understand and it makes sense. It just could be done a lot better. But that's
Oh,
also
that's
an
great.
indie developer, so
Can't give them too
Yeah.
much flack.
yeah, and it's their first title, so I can't give them too much flack there. I just wish it would have been an early access game still.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's not early access?
No, it's a full release.
Wow.
They're updating it, but it's for a full game. It's not worth it yet, in my opinion.
Wow.
Is it free?
Okay.
They do have a free sample that you can play, which is a pretty solid amount of content. At least if you play that, you can determine if you like the game or not, because you do literally everything. So recommend that at least.
Okay, man.
But that's been my week. Nothing too crazy.
Nice. I guess I'll go next. So, my week, at least for interesting stuff, can be summarized by 3 things. But let's not talk about those 3 things yet. Let's talk about the boring stuff. Hey, Animal Crossing's still great.
Hey,
Good.
Red's coming to my island. I bought some art off of him. My museum has expanded. I have an art section now. My shop has been upgraded, so there's more stuff there. I bought a 60,000 bell 20-inch TV, so that's pretty cool.
God, that's expensive.
The Sable sisters were selling a 1.2 million bell crown, and I
Jeez.
get immediately insulted, thinking, who the fuck around here has 1.2 million bells
who the fuck is going?
Did you say 60,000 bells was the first one?
for a TV? Yeah, 20-inch LCD TV.
Bro, that's how much the first house cost in the first Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
I know, because I was just playing it on the emulator the other day. It's pretty great.
Yeah, it's 60,000.
Jesus.
So yeah, that's still going. Final Fantasy VII Remake's still fantastic. I'm loving every minute of it.
How far into it are you?
About 12 hours, I would say. Nothing
you-
too big.
You beat the original? Did you end up beating it?
Nope. About
you-
halfway through disc 2.
Are you? Can you give us an idea how far in the first one you are in regards to the new one you're in?
It's really hard to do that
Okay.
because they added so much to this one.
Mhm. Are you out of the first city?
That's not going to happen until the
Get the
next
fuck
game.
out of here! Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah,
Wow,
this game,
really?
this
It's
game,
literally just the first chapter of the.
it's just essentially the first disc of Final Fantasy VII.
Jesus.
So like I'm outside of Sector 7.
Okay.
I'm hanging out with Aerith right now
Which
in
one is
the
that?
Sector 5 slums. The flower girl. The one with the staff.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
shit balls! You haven't even left the main
Midgar?
complex. Wow.
No. You won't leave Midgar until the second game.
Now, how often do they plan on releasing these?
Probably every 2 years. You also got to think too. This one game is about a 60-hour game.
Is the amount of new content like enough to hold people
Whoa.
over? You
Oh
think?
yeah. Yeah, they are adding very
How many years
like
before we can fight Sephiroth?
you know, a while. We got a while.
Yeah, it's
2030.
gonna be at least like 6 years or something if they go on that road. It would be longer than that if
Yeah.
they go on that pace. Huh.
Now, they probably got a lot of the hard stuff done now because they're familiar with the engine they're using. They got a lot of the character models already made. The infrastructure's already there. So it's really just making new assets and plopping new stuff in. Pretty much. So it probably I would say about and to think they probably were already starting work on part 2 near the tail end of the first game's dev cycle getting ending. They probably already started working on it. I would assume probably about 18 months or
Madness.
so. But yeah, no, they've like you remember Jesse Biggs and Wedge, the
course.
members of Avalanche?
Yeah.
Jesse has a whole story part now where you go to her like family's house and you go to the upper plate and hang out up there and you get to meet other members of like some other members of Avalanche from like other
That's the
subsects of
Shinra
Avalanche.
team or whatever.
No, not even talking about them.
Are you talking about
Avalanche.
Are you talking about the characters from Advent Children? The two that are like. You know who I'm
No.
talking about?
Yeah, I know
What?
exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, no, these are different characters and everything. They added like Jesse. Her main
Advent children are the you're talking about the people in the black like, suits. They're part of a different crew. They're part of the bad guys.
yeah.
Very charismatic bad guys. They
Yes.
make me want to be on that team of bad guys. Especially if
Yeah,
I
they're,
go up
um,
No idea
around
what we're
my
talking
button up
about.
halfway down my chest.
They're
What
part
the
of the
fuck's their name?
Turks.
Turks. There we go.
They're part
Yeah,
of the Turks.
I just
Mike
fought.
was on.
I'm a little bit past Reno, fighting Reno
Is he
in
part
the
of them?
church.
Jesus.
Turks. Yeah, he's one
Okay.
he's one of the villains.
So he looked really cool, and like he
Reno's
seemed like
rad.
a good guy.
The Turks are great. The Turks are really cool.
So are they a
They're
bad guy in the
badasses.
same respect of like Sephiroth
see.
being a bad guy, or like
No,
a bad guy in the same
No.
People
respect
don't know
of
why they're bad guys.
Avalanche
They just
being a
know they
bad
have to
guy?
be bad guys.
Yeah,
They're not even
just
bad guys, really. They just have a job.
think of
Yeah.
them as Shinra like super special forces.
Okay.
So they're just following orders.
Yeah,
Right.
they're essentially hired to kill people, but when it comes down to it, like they don't want to.
The Black Ops
But-
Hit Squad.
Yeah, pretty
Bingo.
much. Like
Okay.
they don't want to. Like they're like, I don't want to fucking do this. Like, fine, whatever, let's go. Like
See,
that's
'cause,
kind of
like-
like their mentality.
That Reno guy, when I was watching James' stream, like he didn't even get to finish talking about what he was talking about, and I don't think I finished watching the whole thing, or I think maybe his stream had crashed or something during that time. I'm not 100% positive what happened, but it seemed like he was almost like talking as if he was like, you don't understand that, like, and then Cloud was like, nah, fuck this guy, and like
Well,
he
because-
seemed like a good guy. He just had to do his shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what the Turks are. They just have
Making
to
a
do their
living.
shit.
And then you find out later in the game where eventually they're just like, fuck it, who cares? I don't like screw this.
Mhm.
Like screw this lifestyle is pretty much what it comes as in the original game is essentially kind of how it plays out. I don't know if it would be in the same in this.
Oh, probably. I would
Um,
assume so.
but eventually they're just like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like,
Because he seems like he would be a really cool guy to have on your team. I
so
like him.
they never join up, but
Right.
they realize their common enemy is Sephiroth,
Mhm.
Sephiroth, when it's all said
The
and
enemy
done.
of my enemy is my friend.
He reminded me almost of like an Ignis-esque character, but a little bit more happy-go-lucky, kind of like free-spirited. Because Ignis was obviously like super like by the book kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So by the end of this disc, are you going or this disc? By the end of this game, are you
It's gonna-
going to be are you going to cross paths with Yuffie or Sid?
No, not yet.
Everybody. But no, not in this
Not yet.
game, but eventually, yes.
Kate, Sid, Cat Sith, Yuffie, Vincent,
Vincent.
and Red 13 are going to be playable probably in the next one.
Well, you'd think
Like,
Red
we'll
13 would
we'll
be. Oh no,
meet
he is.
Red 13.
Red
Isn't he?
He's at
13's
the
in
very
this
tail
game.
end.
He's
Yeah,
he's
Red
in the
13's
game,
in
but
here.
you don't play as him.
Isn't
Yeah,
he? Because
you-
he. Okay, okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
'cause you-
he's a experiment, right?
Mhm.
Yes. Yeah.
And then
yeah.
he hangs out with. I think you doesn't he hang out with Yuffie?
No.
What is that?
Oh,
How you
if-
pronounce her name? Y-U-F-F-I?
Yuffie.
Yeah,
Yeah, Yuffie.
Yeah, Yuffie. Yuffie's
thought-
she
in the-
hangs
in
out
the-
in the ninja village.
Yeah, I thought he
Later
was, like,
down the road.
homies
Yeah.
with her.
Later down the road.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, no, you don't play as Red 13 because they didn't consider him an essential part of this particular
well, and
arc.
He only appeared
So-
for like the very tail end
Yeah.
of disc 1. And it's great that I can talk about this now.
Yeah.
Because I've actually played it now.
Yeah, they this particular game focuses on the major backstory of Tifa, of Barrett, of Aerith, like their town is
Mhm.
essentially because
Yeah.
you're only in that in the actual game probably for about
Probably
5 hours,
Yeah.
if that, because essentially you blow up the Shinra Corporation, they fucking drop a city on your face, and then you leave, and then that's it.
That's what I remember. I remember
Yeah.
And
that's
how
why
it
when you're
goes.
like the whole entire first thing is you in the city, I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was
they
like
stretched
20
that-
minutes.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
stretched that out to a 60-hour game.
They have side quests, they have everything
Uh-huh.
that you can do. They basically took Final Fantasy and expanded it to every little detail that it can be expanded to.
I'll tell you what, once I saw the opportunity, I mean, once I saw the fact that you can play as a trap for a little bit, I was like, I'm in.
So did they kind of go into those Dementor looking fuckers?
Not yet.
Okay,
At least
because I'm
not that I
curious
played.
as to that.
Crazy though, man.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
knew that there was a lot of it. Like as I understood it, a great deal of it was going to be them expanding on that first area, but I didn't know the entire fucking game was
Yeah, but
that.
That's the remake side of it.
Jeez.
Is when they were making this, they said it would be pointless for them to do a frame by frame remake of Final Fantasy VII. It wouldn't make sense nowadays.
Mm-mm.
It wouldn't. People would still buy it, yes, because Final Fantasy VII. But with all the technology you have now,
Mm-hmm.
they said it
And
didn't
all
make
the
any
cloud
sense.
it already has.
Yeah,
Mhm.
they didn't. It didn't make sense for them just to take the game, take it from Resident Evil to Resident Evil 1 remake, and add little bits and pieces. Like to them, it didn't make any sense for doing that because at that point, they would just make a new Final Fantasy game and call it
Mhm.
a day. So they decided that they need to expand on it, give people a deeper respect for the game, and
Mhm.
tell the story that hasn't been told yet.
Yeah, and especially of these
keeping
minor
parts of the-
characters.
Yeah, while keeping the structure the same, the characters the same, but expanding on those characters in grave detail.
Now, have they done many? Has anybody done many other projects like this where they
Not
completely
on
this
rebuild it like
extent?
this? Like
Not
the,
on this
the remake
extent.
stuffs. Like R3 remake, did they? Because the R3 didn't. The remake didn't look. I remember playing the game and it looks. The remake does look different than the game did.
Yeah,
At least I
it's-
feel like it did. I could be
they-
wrong, but feel like
RE2
RE
and RE3 remake, they did change some stuff from the originals, but
uh-huh.
it's nowhere
It's the
near
same
to
path.
the scope of
Yeah.
Final Fantasy VII. This is essentially an entirely different game.
Yeah.
That follows the same
Seems
framework.
like it, jeez.
Yeah. Yeah, the end goal is the same, but to get there, they went around the world to
Mhm.
get you there. Is essentially what they're
know,
doing.
You know how there's the director's cuts of movies?
Mhm.
Like how the director's cut of Lord of the Rings, each movie's like 3 hours long?
Yeah.
Think
Yeah.
of this as the director's cut of Final Fantasy VII.
That's
Okay.
gangster.
On steroids.
On steroids, yeah.
Steroids.
Yeah, each game will be about 100 gig game.
Mhm.
So you're looking 3 or 4 games, probably 4 is what was what they're plotting it out to be. You're muted.
No, I'm mouthing words.
Okay, sorry. I was like, he was
Thank you,
just
though. I
talking. How's he
appreciate
muted?
you
No,
mentioning
you're good.
that. And it's nuts.
Yeah, it's gonna
My
be about.
Discord says there's no audio coming out, but I checked and
No, you're good. I hear you.
You're good.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be four games. Each game 100 gigs.
That's wild.
that is how many games are they expecting to see?
Oh, sorry. The original was 3.
Yeah, the original was 3 discs. That's why I'm thinking it's going to be a 3 disc.
It's gonna be 3
game
or
title.
4.
3 games, 3 or
Yeah.
4.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, if
3 or
they're
4
if
full
taking a
games.
whole bunch just to get out of the town, I mean, come on. There's a lot of towns in that game.
Yeah,
Like,
There is.
but
So-
I feel like if they follow it like this, because, and just going off of how the original game is, disc 1 was just Midgar
Yeah.
mhm.
in the original, and then you would swap over to disc 2, and that's when the open world stuff started going. That's where you go to the Gold Saucer. That's where you find Yuffie. You go to Niflheim,
Yeah.
Nibelheim.
And there's a lot of the towns that aren't required. So I don't see them putting as much effort into the non-required
Oh no, bullshit.
cities.
Bullshit.
Well,
I think they will.
They're still gonna put a ton into it, but I mean, like in terms of what you can do, like if you
I
go
think
to the
everything's gonna
story,
be important.
like the story towns, I think they're gonna expand those like crazy. But like the chocobo stables, like there's not really much
They
to
would
do in
have
there.
to, because how would you? Well, they kind of changed how you get summons in this one, but I would assume that. I mean, I would want them to make getting Knights of the Round basically the exact same.
That'll be interesting how they do that. If they even have that in a game.
pull my fucking. By the time Final Fantasy VII Disc 3 or 4 or 29 comes out, I want to be bald because of me trying to get those chocobos. The
chocobo.
breeding the chocobos. I want to be bald because of how much I've ripped my hair out.
Dude, I can't even imagine the lengths that they would go through to do chocobo breeding in this game if they decide to go that route. But it'll be fucking
the
insane.
Craziest.
We'll see. There's literally zero information about the other ones other than they are being made. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all we know.
Hmm.
So what else you done, James?
Other than those two things, as like the normal stuff every week kind of thing. I have been playing. Well, you, me, and Mark have been playing Worms WMD.
Fuck yeah, we have
Oh,
that.
yeah.
That
Worms
was
is
fun. Yeah, I forgot
Fantastic.
it was
Oh,
fun.
yeah,
Schroeder
Jeff,
played it too.
you jumped in. Yeah, you
Yeah.
jumped in at the.
Had a
Yeah, I
couple
only played
rounds.
like one game. That's
Yeah.
why. Yeah, we played. That game's fantastic. I love Worms. Worms is so much fun.
It is pretty fun.
Worms is so much fun.
Actually, a really old game too, to be honest with you.
It's been around for teams. Yeah, like 25 years or so. 35 years.
Oh yeah. When you got off the next match, James, I did full wormage, which gives you unlimited of every single item.
Oh my god, we're gonna have to do that.
That was pretty fucking intense. I think we all had 8 people, and we were on this tiny ass island, and we were like, "This is gonna be interesting." I fucking throw an Armageddon,
Oh,
eliminated 18 people.
Fuck.
You're like, "What the fuck is this?" It's gonna be a quick ass game. It's like I didn't know what it was.
I've
Oops.
also, well, I mean, I've been playing Rainbow Six a lot, but I've also checked out
I just picked that up.
what.
I just scooped up Rainbow Six. I haven't.
Oh yeah, I think Aim was
I
telling me
got
that.
it installed.
You need to
I
play
haven't
it.
played it yet. I
Yeah.
know. I'm just worried that if I start playing it, it'll be another one that I put 1,000 hours into.
Yeah, it's a first-person shooter though, so I mean,
It's a first-person shooter with a purpose.
yeah, it's not like Call of Duty. It's
No,
nothing
yeah, it's
like
not
Call
shoot,
of
bang,
Duty.
kill. It's let's meticulously play this game because if I die, I get to sit and watch my friends play.
Yeah,
Oh.
See, that's my problem. I can't do that.
No. Okay,
So-
so it's a lot better.
Well, Walker, they actually have characters that are more attuned to
Older
kind of
people.
running around. Yeah.
Old people, you fuck.
Like,
That's right. That's what it is, Walker. That's why. I don't know. I'm playing
are
a
you
game
fully
with young
familiar
kids.
with Rainbow Six Shooter?
That 14-year-old shoot me to death every time we turn around. Huh?
Are you familiar with Rainbow Six though, like the concept and
I'm
everything?
familiar with the classic ones, the ones where you have to like
Okay,
plot
two
out the
different
route
games.
before you even get in, and
No, that's kind of
Similar in concept, but I wouldn't
You
say the
know.
old ones had the exact same like. It wasn't like the 5v5 kind of thing.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
It was like everything you wanted the old games to be. It was like, imagine if we were an actual squad of guys like breaking into this house trying to get the hostage. Like, what would we do? Like, if we had the tools to do it. That's this game.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Okay.
I would say that like the Vegas games were like that too,
what's
but not the online like competitive stuff.
yeah, they were.
what's that game that Payday? Is it like
Yeah.
it sounds like it's like Payday but with more.
Sort of.
Yeah,
Kind of.
Payday's a lot more arcadey.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
Like,
a lot more.
Okay.
arcade. This is
Yeah.
kind of like think of like Overwatch and Payday combined together
Yeah, it's a good way of putting it.
because
Okay.
the characters have different strengths and weaknesses and different abilities that they
Yeah,
have.
that's what I heard somebody saying that. That's one of the big things that make it a lot different than typical FPS is each character. Each character kind of has its own. My, if you guys ever lived in a place where the fucking floor is tilted a little tiny bit and your chair just keeps fucking rolling backwards like this, God
Yeah.
damn it! My calves are killing me from pulling myself forward. I don't do that.
James'
At least
character
you're
makes
working out.
sweaters.
Yeah.
Yeah, my character just hands out sweaters to everyone.
Yeah.
I meticulously make sweaters and just hand them out to everyone.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
there's
that
a
sounds like an
there's a
effective
play
thing in
there's a
combat
character
situation.
for pretty much everyone's play style.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah,
How many
that's the
characters
beauty.
are there?
There's a
lot.
total of 50.
Get the hell out of here! There's 50
Yeah,
characters.
there's about
Between the
25 on the defenders and about 25 on the attackers, and then there's room for possibly a total of 6 more.
And all these characters have their own like niches they fill.
Mhm. So like
Yeah.
they all have a special like ability. Now, mind you, realistically, they could
boy.
have the most OP ability in the game. The thing that people need to like the reason I ended up getting a little bit better last night, I had a great fucking game. We ended up playing unranked, and I left there with 10 kills. I would have been MVP,
Nice.
but the other team fucking beat us on accident because me and AIM got fucked. Because our whole team died, and then we had a person leave, and we did 45 minutes took us to get through this game. We ended up going through.
Wow.
Unranked can go anywhere between. It can go up to 9 rounds a piece.
Fuck.
Yeah, it was a lot. But yeah, you have a chance for like 45 kills or some shit. But anyway, so the focusing on the guns is the big thing. Getting a gun that works for you is the like that's the big thing you need to like focus in. Like
Mhm.
you could love someone's abilities, but if they have trash guns and the recoil is terrible and whatnot, that's where it's really gonna fuck you up.
Yeah.
Like I personally when I'm an attacker, I play one of 2 characters. I have more that I mess with once in a while, but I ended up getting this girl named Callie, which is a sniper, and her gun just eviscerates everything in front of it. Mind you, it's a long range gun, so if you're super close range, you're kind of fucked. But I also have this little like rapid fire, super silent pistol that I love fucking with people because I'll shoot their feet and then they won't know where it's coming from because you can't hear. That's another big thing is making sure you know where people are coming from, like you're listening, because like you can hear if they're running on the left side, you're gonna hear them running hard on the left side.
So
It's
why
also
do you
about
shoot
like
the feet?
sneaking. Oh, I shot their feet just to fuck with people because like there was this dude specifically in this one match. He was laying down, his feet were poking out behind a corner, right over a sofa, and I shot his feet with my little pistol. He ended up turning around real fast, and then I just pinked him in the head because he couldn't tell where I was coming from because the gun I have has a silencer and it's super quiet to begin with. But yeah, there's a lot to do. Like there's breachers, there's more meticulous characters. My defender, I actually throw up a bunch of like magnets in the room that if anyone throws a projectile, it catches them and then it causes it to go off in their general area or
That's
above, so it doesn't kill
dope.
you. Yeah, I play a character
That's
called
cool,
Wamai.
man.
He's super dope. He's a really
what-
good character.
What are some other like little side abilities you get real quick? Just like that's an
Um,
interesting one.
Oh,
Something
there's-
that's so try to appeal to that sense.
Yeah.
What other little cool abilities like that are there in this one?
Well, there's like my main on the attacker is Blackbeard, and he has like a shield that he slaps on the top of his gun, so it makes it a little harder, one, to get shot in the face, and two, it can kind of like mitigate some damage.
when Blackbeard, I mind you, it doesn't sound that impressive of ability, but when
Right, you tell me I
Blackbeard's like
can
one
put
of the
a
last
Double
people
on the end of my gun.
alive, and he's crouched because his gun kind of covers his knees just a little bit. You have to really focus in on those feet. But if you're focusing on the feet and you're not paying attention to where he's aiming, because you can't hit like the middle of him, it can break, but it's really annoying. Like
Mhm.
Blackbeard's definitely someone not to fuck with, unless you know how to kill Blackbeard.
Yeah, he has like a
Um,
little bit of his head exposed,
Mhm.
and then like his knees downward if he's crouching, which is not a huge hitbox.
Mm-mm.
No, that's not.
Another character is Fuse. Fuse is really cool.
Mhm.
He goes around onto like wood paneled floors. He can't go through concrete, but like you can do walls, like plaster walls and other shit. And he puts this thing on and he connects it to the wall. And then once you set it off, it shoots out 6 heat seeking grenades that'll explode. So it's if you're uh, all like hauled up in the one room that happens to have a vulnerable spot, like a wall that wasn't like protected from your big metal fucking
Can you
barricade
see it as you're
things.
walking past it?
No, because you're on the outside and they're inside.
Yeah, you're on the outside of the wall.
So yeah, Fuse is on the
Oh.
outside, putting it onto walls and shit, and then clicks it, and it shoots out grenades. And they're like these little hockey puck looking grenades. So
Yeah.
they have a really hard roll too. So like if you get hit with one of those, you're dead.
But like
Ah.
those heat-seeking parts, it doesn't care if you're a teammate or an enemy. It'll heat-seek right to them, so you gotta
Oh,
be
yeah.
careful,
You could kill your team, yeah.
or kill
I've
yourself pretty
fused
easy.
aim a couple times. I have killed myself with one of those as once. Another one. This is another interesting one. This is an attacker. Her name's Iana, and she has a I hate Iana, but she has a Gemini, and a Gemini is basically it's a hologram drone. So it goes out and it's controllable. I mind you, this one's where it starts to get a little far fetched, but I could see where the idea for the realistic part of it would be.
Well, isn't she a
is-
part of like the Space Defense Force or something
Yeah,
like that?
she's a little up there. So her character shoots out this little like drone that is completely movable. It's kind of like an AI kind of thing, and you run. It's basically for you to scout things out. It looks exactly like her, and if you shoot her, it just says plus 60. But she just found your location because you shot her. So like she looks around, she can see everything, but you get marked if you kill the Gemini. So that's the big thing. I want to say it's like 30 seconds, maybe 15, 20 seconds. And then my other main is Lion, and I have this giant drone in the sky, and it just goes boom, 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 and it fucking, if anyone's moving at all, it pings them on the map for us so we can go find them. Aim's main is Cav, and she has like a super silent step with this like super overpowered pistol, so she's completely impossible to hear. And if she knocks you down and doesn't kill you, she can do what's called an interrogation. And an interrogation marks the entire team on the entire enemy team on the map.
Damn.
There's a lot of cool shit in that game.
Joining us, they're talking
Yeah.
about Ghost.
What's up?
For those just joining us, we're talking about Ghost.
Ghost Siege?
Ghost, isn't it Ghost Recon Siege?
No, Rainbow Six.
No, Rainbow Six.
Rainbow
Siege.
Six.
It's a Tom
Rainbow
Clancy
Six.
game.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Go- Ghost Recon has Breakpoint.
Okay, that's what it was. My bad.
But yeah, it's
That's still dope, though.
definitely
I mean,
a cool game.
all right. Well,
Yeah.
I'll have to join you here soon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
definitely.
Well, after
Sounds
this,
like a bunch of
depending
fun.
how long, come play a game with us because I'm down to play one at least.
I know.
I'll
Aim's
play with you
trying
if
to
anyone
come
else
up.
does.
Is there a long? There's a long break-in period to get into it?
Not really. So it depends which one you had gotten. So
Okay.
you'll probably have recruit or you'll have the first row of each characters. And it's trial and error, playing with characters you like, seeing
Yeah.
if you get used to them. Another one of the quick people, just real quick for like one of the characters Mark plays a lot, Mute. He's a defender. He walks around, puts these little like router looking jammers up, and because your first thing when you're an attacker, you're having these drones going to look around for people and find the objective and shit. And if you get caught by a mute jammer, you're fucked. You're blind. You can't see. You're done. Period. So like you can't like continue searching for the objective. And like it cancels out any kind of electronics. So like if you're trying to fuse where a mute is, it's just gonna say can't. Like it's just saying you're not gonna do this. It's not happening because there's this shit here. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's a good game.
Hmm.
I also checked out A Plague's Tale.
How
past
was
few
that?
days.
Oh, have you?
Yeah,
That
I've
game
been.
looks amazing. It doesn't it plays on the same vein as like Hellblade, right?
No.
It has a lot. Doesn't it have a lot of that like the artist. It's a similar type of
it's
play style. Like a straight story. It's not. There's not
Yeah.
a lot of.
Oh, yeah.
theory, and
Yeah,
it's
no,
not
it's
a very
a
long
hallway.
game.
It's a hallway game. Yeah,
Oh,
where it's
yep,
just
yep, yep.
going
A
point
linear
A to point
path.
B.
Very
Yeah.
linear
Say
path.
it doesn't seem like, at least when you were playing when I was on, it didn't seem like you were super thrilled about it to begin with.
No, I
Like it seemed
actually.
like something was pissing you off real fucking quick in the first like 5-10 minutes of the game.
I think I had a problem. I had a little glitch. At the very
Like-
beginning.
Yeah, because you
where-
had said something amongst the idea of like, if this wasn't so well reviewed, I'd turn it off right the fuck now.
Yeah, because of the fucking dog dying right at the beginning of
Oh
the game.
yeah. Okay, that's what it was. Yeah.
So what I like to call this game, and I thought of this earlier. This is Are You Afraid of the Dark? The game,
Okay.
Like the old
So-
show.
kinda, but it's in more of a literal sense. Darkness is the dark is bad, very, very, very bad.
Yeah, the game previews made it look like it was. You don't want to be
So-
caught in the dark.
It takes place in France during the Inquisition, and you're this one character, Amelie, and her brother Hugo.
And the plague is going on at this time too. Yeah.
Yes,
You don't
yeah.
mess with the Spanish
This-
Inquisition.
It's basically your main enemies are rats. Hordes and hordes and hordes of rats that are unkillable. The only way to avoid the rats, and they only come out at night or in dark areas. The only way to take care of the rats is you have to have some sort of fire, some sort of light source to make
Huh.
sure that they skitter all over, they skitter away. That could be holding a torch. That could be seeing a hay bale and shooting it with like a fire rock and igniting it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that could
Her main
be
weapon is a slingshot.
Yeah, her main weapon's a slingshot. And
She's
it's,
not about killing, right?
you can get things that can do killing. Like there are some moments where you kill,
Yeah.
and she is visibly. One thing that I will say about it is, have any of you ever played the Tomb Raider reboot from 2016?
Mm-mm.
No. All right. So one of the main focuses, like the very first thing in the game, when you're Laura Croft, is
I
she
love
has
what
to
you're about to say.
she has to kill someone, and she's just a regular person at this point. Never killed anyone before. She's just a treasure hunter.
Right.
She kills someone, and she just kind of just feels so like terrible about murdering someone.
Right.
She's never done it before.
It really plays on the emotional part. It's not many
Yeah.
games do it. A lot of games you just killing everybody.
Yeah.
But these ones.
Well, just for the first kill in Tomb Raider, and then afterwards you're just mowing down people like crazy. This one, every single kill, Amelie's just like, I didn't mean to. Oh my god, I'm sorry. Oh my god. And she just
Yeah.
kind of like freaks out a little bit because she's still a kid.
I like games like
She's a
like-
child. And she's just freaking out because she just murdered someone.
Uh,
I'm in chapter 5. There's 11 chapters in it, so I would say I'm close to about the halfway point.
How long would you guesstimate each chapter runs?
Well, I looked on how long to beat.
Okay.
It's about a 10.5-hour game.
Okay.
Okay.
That was actually one of the this one and Hellblade are the two games I was really considering as being the first two in the crazy long production ones.
Yeah. Yeah.
To do, and I'm glad you played it. That's awesome. That's awesome.
It's fantastic. I could see why people were going raving about it up and down last year.
Mhm.
So it's only a
Minus
10-hour
one.
game, right?
Right around, yeah. I would assume that's doing minor exploration.
So, just out of curiosity, since it's a super like well-produced movie, like not movie, but like game,
You know
right?
what? I
It's
was
super
just
good
thinking
looking
that
and all
more
that
of a
stuff.
cinematic experience. You
So
know?
this is complete. This is kind of staying on the same topic, but like also derailing a little bit. Why do you think that The Order got such a bad rap when it doesn't sound too much different in length? Like The Order was about a 8 to 10 hour game.
No, it was like 4 hours. That was a stupid short
Eh.
game, but I
The
loved it
Order?
all the same.
If you want like a super dumb cinematic game, check out The
Yeah,
Order.
yeah. If you want basically a straight up movie, The Order 1886. Yeah, no, it was like a 4 hour game, and that's if you. I think speed runs of it are like 30 minutes.
Okay. I thought I could have
I
sworn
think
it was
that's
longer, but I think
I
that's with
think
like the
that's
expansion.
the main reason, and also yeah, that's like I think the main reason for people shitting
Okay.
all over it. But
The,
I
the
love The
thing,
Order.
the thing I've noticed about these cinematic games, these linear path games, is it seems like because another one I was looking at in consideration, actually, the Blair Witch Project. It's
I
another
hear
one
it's not
that's
that great.
I've heard that too.
Yeah.
It's a little glitchy, like you get stuck in the trees and shit.
Mhm.
But the thing that I find appealing about these and I think you guys can probably think of a couple other ones, but these linear games is they do put so much emphasis in the landscape and in the sound, and they really do try to make it a really hardcore cinematic experience
Yeah.
versus games like The Forest or Ark or
Where
any of
that's
these
making
other.
your own story essentially.
Yeah, right. But they usually don't put as much production value into the landscape and stuff.
Mm-mm.
That's the thing with The Order is like my biggest thing is this
I'm
is what I
looking at
tell
it, it looks
everyone
gorgeous.
when I tell people about the game is there like dude, I'm telling you, the seamlessness of this game. I feel like the reason The Order was so short is because they put all their money into production that they couldn't do very much
Oh,
more.
probably.
The fact is like there's a scene where your team is going out onto the Zeppelin and you're roping down, and the cutscene was so perfect into the game. I was waiting for him to move after I got onto the outside of the Zeppelin because
Yeah.
you could not tell the cutscene had ended. It went directly into the game, which is
Yeah. All
to
that's
me insane.
in is in engine. All that stuff is that none of it's pre-rendered.
It's absolutely wild. Like it was just so seamless. It's one of the most seamless games I've ever played. I can't think of too many others.
Yeah, Plague's Tale, I would highly, 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 highly recommend every single one of you play this game.
How much is it?
It's included with Game Pass.
Oh
Yeah.
shit, okay.
Yeah.
I'll
So
give it a
it's
shot.
fantastic. It's all stealth, it's mainly stealth, by the way.
Is it
so
as
it's a little bit
hard
slower.
stealth as The Thief?
No,
Okay,
it's
good. 'Cause
it's
I fucking hate
it's
that game.
easier than that. it's a dumbed down stealth game. I'm gonna be 100% real here. It's
I can't
like
do another Alien Isolation.
yeah, it's
So kind of like
hey,
Dishonored stealth.
kinda yeah. Hey,
Okay.
there's a dude here. Oh, how do I distract him? Let me throw a rock at this glowing pile of helmets that you can't miss. So it's like yeah, you're not gonna have much trouble with this game,
Okay.
but the
Plague
story's really great. The characters are fantastic. It's an absolute beautiful game. Music is utterly forgettable, but it's fine.
Oh,
But-
it doesn't have a good soundtrack.
It's the same shit in every cinematic game.
Okay.
The
Yeah.
same
Dun, dun, dun.
mediocre, strings section.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Your typical like operatic, scary music kind of stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it's very
Okay.
moody. It's very moody, but
Right.
yeah. Last thing real quick that I did, I just want to give a shout out to this one creator that I started watching called Jim Can't Swim. He does a lot of videos on police interviews and the psychology behind the interviews themselves. Absolutely very, very interesting watch on YouTube if you're ever bored. He has some great videos on a bunch of big name cases where he goes over the stuff on there, and definitely recommend it. I subscribe to his Patreon. It's only $1, and I get a lot more videos. So that was my week. That was my extremely long week.
Not bad.
I'll go.
Yeah, that leaves
That just leaves
myself,
Walker.
world's longest week segment in our podcast history, but it's been
I
a
think so.
Yeah.
been an hour
It
and
has
30
been a
minutes.
hefty one.
Um,
Do we have a lot of news?
Not a huge
Eh.
amount.
it'll probably
At
the
least I don't.
podcast as a whole will probably be 3 hours. Um, so, but that hasn't been normal, but not unnormal. But it's been good content though, so it's been very fluent, very communicative, and I love it. For myself, uh, Worms, like James said, that's been fun. Watched a couple different movies. Watched The Matrix. That movie still holds up like a fucking boss.
Oh yeah, the first
Like
one
no
does. The
tomorrow.
first one's great. The only Matrix movie's great.
I like them all. Number one by far my favorite. Um, I wouldn't say I like them all, but like I'll still watch them all. But I only watch number one. But even still today, the CGI in that movie still is rivals CGI that's today. Like it's weird. The movies went from good, okay, and shit. You would think like the number three would have the best CGI, but I felt like that had the worst.
Like, I don't know. I watched. Maybe it's because I didn't watch it like way back, but like, it's definitely phenomenal. Like, it's a great looking movie.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I'd say it like holds up to some of the shit that's around today, because like a lot of it definitely looks like 2000s CGI.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like and then, but just thinking about like when it was made and everything like that, and then just knowing for the time the evolutionary
Mm-hmm.
break my lamp. The,
Throw your lamp across the room, there, guy.
the fucking slow down, camera rotating, like never been done before. Like that was, it's just crazy to think like something like that was never done up until that time. But
Yeah.
that technology has then been used and advanced since. So watch that. I watched a couple random movies.
It was nice to see a movie that captivated how I really see the world.
Exactly.
In
Slow
bullet time.
motion.
Just put your hands up and stop the bullets.
It takes forever to vape. I'm not there yet. Slow down.
I watched a movie called The First Day We Met. It's with Adam Devine from Workaholics. He's like the shorter, the fatter one.
Oh, that was the day he keeps waking up, right?
Yeah, basically
Yeah, that was a good
Groundhog
movie.
Day?
kind of, but he uses a photo booth to kind of go back. See, the premise is he meets this girl at the beginning of the movie. Like it's the most romantic thing ever. He wakes up. He's standing in front of the girl. She's talking about how it's the greatest day of her life. About how on this day 4 years ago we met. I fell in love, and then she turns to another dude. And then it goes back in time to see what happened. He goes in for a kiss, and then she hugs him, and says,
Oof.
I love having a guy friend like you." And then from there, he finds out that this photo booth is basically like a time machine. So he goes in and he plays different parts, and then he wakes up after that night happened, and that's the future, and he has to keep doing it over until he finally gets it right.
So yeah,
But
Groundhog Day.
yeah, pretty much. But the girl that he thinks he's supposed to be in love with is not actually the girl he's supposed to be in love with. It's a I don't know. It's not. It's a rom com, but I don't know. I like
It's
Adam.
a solid movie.
Yeah. I like Adam
Devine?
Devine. I thought he was funny. He was in one movie with Zac Efron. What the fuck was it?
It's you're thinking of
They're brothers.
Mike and something need wedding dates.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, that was funny. Mike and Dave need wedding dates.
Mike and Dave, yeah.
That was hilarious. So I was like, oh, I saw it on Netflix. Why not? I'll watch. It's only an hour and 30 minutes, so it wasn't too long. But it was a solid comedy, and that's pretty much the extent of my week. Played Ark. Was set out on an adventure.
What did you get killed this time?
Actually, I didn't get killed. So I set out on an adventure. I had marked on the map where all these different animals were going to be. I crafted all the materials, maxed out as many weapons as I can, had multiple different sets of armors. I'm sitting there fucking taming a brontosaurus, which is the huge leaf eaters, and I run off to the side to go get a raptor, which is a tech raptor, fucking cool looking. The
Mhm.
game like flickers. I go back to where my animal is that I flew in on, which was a griffin, super high level. The motherfucker's gone.
Ooh.
I search
What?
up, down, left, right, underground, in the sky, far front, back, left side, fucking circles. He's nowhere to be found. All my equipment, all my cryopods, everything that I got to that point to do this adventure, woof, disappeared. Nowhere to be found. Nothing.
Have
I'm
you
so,
located these items since?
no, like I haven't played since because I got so mad
Do you
because I
think
lost
that
all of that stuff.
a
I
lot of
couldn't
the
find my
stuffs
griffin.
are from mods, correct?
No.
Well, the griffin's not, but all the no, not all of
No,
it.
none
No,
of it.
I
Well, the
crafted all the
I
stuff
don't
from
cryopods are
the.
have
from
I don't
mods,
have
I'm
Yeah,
pretty
any.
yeah. None of the animals are
The only
um
things I have in the way of mods are the ones that are
building.
building. Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, yeah. No, I crafted all the stuff. It was a bunch of narcotic arrows, trank guns, trank darts, so stuff. All the stuff that I made. But yeah, my griffin
So,
disappeared with
I
what,
guess
like 800 pounds worth of shit.
my guess, not necessarily mods per se, but like, do you think there could have like this is just speculating, but do you think there could have been a not even like an update, but like a flash into the game where technically, since not all of us have the whole game, we only have like the base game, and we don't have like Scorched Earth and all that stuff. Then there could have been like a possibility that like for some reason it had glitched and everything that we didn't actually have ended up going back to where it belongs, and like it just went all the way back into like its not pieces, but like it's just gone, like just completely sucked out.
No,
Because
I
aren't
don't
those
know.
servers
likely.
live?
Yeah, but not likely. They're
Is
not
that a
really
theoretical possibility?
No, because our servers, the thing about hosting them is they're isolated. So you're
Okay.
not actually in the Steam server farm. You're in
Okay.
the way the game looks at it, you're in your own farm. So on a public server, perhaps but on our server, that I can't think of anything that would really cause that.
And my
Just so
griffin
you're
was set to
aware,
passive too. That's the fucking crazy thing.
just so you're aware, there is a thing. I don't know if you know this called a transponder.
Yeah, that's what Mark was telling me.
Yeah, man, put those on, and it's basically a tracking device for your animals.
Yeah, I searched. I went.
That's titties, bro.
There's no way it would have been killed because you would have gotten the big
Uh,
fucking letters on
Yeah,
your
the
screen.
notification or
Yep,
something.
I went into the notifications to check. Wasn't killed. Wasn't nothing. I went as high up as I
That's
could.
it
Wasn't in the
had
sky.
it
You know
had
Went
what's
under the
bomb like
wrong
ground.
though, too?
flashed out of the
It,
game
Wasn't
or
there.
something. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I was
what's
so
crazy
pissed.
too is it will eventually show up, just like that damn kangaroo.
Yeah,
Yeah, everything
I
shows up
seen that.
once in a while.
Yeah,
I
eventually.
found that in the fucking desert.
That's nuts. I lost that thing out there months ago.
I found
It's
that in the
insane.
desert. I don't remember. I have to figure out if I can remember where I found it. But I found it though.
Weren't you out in
Yeah,
the Laverne area though? Like, isn't that
That
where
was
you
a
lost your
different one.
griffin? Isn't the
Oh,
where'd you lose your griffin?
right. So in between the volcano and the beaver dam. So there's a
Okay,
grass area
I
with
remember that area
yep,
now.
um like geysers and hot geysers and stuff, a little grass
yep.
patch. It was right there.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, like half like there's grass and then the grass goes into like soot almost because from the
Okay.
volcano. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was right there. Just fuck I go back, I'm like, I'm put this I'm gonna grab a cryopod to put my tech uh raptor that I just caught in.
Feeling
Looking
all good.
around. Okay. Run around the dinosaur. Nothing. Look up. Huh. Interesting. So then I use fly because I'm like, where the fuck did this dude go?
Yeah.
Start circling around, and I go farther, and then I go farther, and then I go farther. I go past the volcano. I go past the beaver dam. I go up, down, and I'm like, is this a joke? Like, where the fuck did this
Am
griffin
I being
go?
punked? Ashton, where are you?
He was set to follow one of your dinos back all the way at your base.
I'm just like,
Jesus.
what is this? Like, I was like, yeah, nothing. Could not find it for the life of me. I even ghosted in through the ground. I'm like, well, maybe you got sucked into the ground. Nope.
Yeah.
Had no idea.
What?
Yeah, it was because the weight's like 1,000 pounds, and I put 800 pounds of
Was
stuff
he
on
even
that.
able to move?
He was. I could still fly. It probably wasn't that much. It was like 600,
But it was just enough.
but it was just enough so I could fly at a good speed. But it was a lot of stuff. It was a couple hundred arrows, darts, narcotic, um, uh, just so I can go around because I found a Quetzal that was high level. I found the Brontosaurus. I found another, like I found like a couple different dinosaurs that I was gonna go do and catch, and then I was gonna take that and expand on my base. Um, and I was like, I'm gonna make this little adventure, and then I fucking catch the Brontosaurus and my Griffin's gone. I just sat there,
How
like,
the fuck am I gonna get home now?
sighed and shut the game off.
Yeah, that's a legit reason.
I'm like, that was a level. It was like a 260 Griffin, because that's all I kept. That's all I was riding. It was the highest Griffin I've ever had. Was that? I just need to fucking stop getting Griffins. I either kill them by accident because I try to fight it with the Gigasaurus so it gets eaten, or I fucking lose it.
Jesus.
It's like me and Griffins don't match up. But that was. So I haven't played the game since, and that was sometime mid last week. So yeah, I was just like, I can't. Like, I was so upset. I'm just like I put so much time and effort to get all these materials, all this stuff to craft. I had a plan, and this is what fucking happens. I was making a little adventure out of it, and then poof, gone.
Yeah, that's lame, man.
Yeah.
Well,
So that's
there's something has been going on. Uh, too. Like I haven't been in the game, but I have been keeping an eye on the server, like trying to. I actually haven't done it in a couple days, but I did do it a couple days ago. I updated the servers. Um, but it said that somebody has been in there for like 3 days. That was the only reason I hadn't done it for a couple days was every time I would check, it would say there was 1 out of 30 people on the server, and I'm like, what the? And then I asked you
really.
guys, and
Yeah,
none of
that
you
was
guys
me.
were on it. So I don't know if it was messing up or if there's just somebody somewhere out there just chilling. Finally, I was just like, I gotta update this thing, like. So I just did it, and
Yeah. Well, that's weird. I wonder what it was. Yeah, I could not find him for the life of me. I was like, fucking A. So I haven't been on since. Maybe I'll hop on after this to see if I can find him. But well, that's pretty much it for my week per se. Let's get into some news, boys. Finally,
News.
Yeah.
power through some movie news. 'Cause I do have a little bit. Mission Impossible 7 and 8 are being written. Why?
Nice.
I have no idea. I have never actually seen any of the Mission Impossible
Me
movies,
neither.
but they are making a Mission Impossible 7 and a Mission Impossible 8.
See, I'm not a big Tom Cruise guy, so I've never really watched those movies.
So our everlasting movie that has gotten postponed, rescheduled, canceled, reworked, redone with our boy Tom Holland called Uncharted
Uncharted.
has a new release date.
Never.
It is July 16th, 2021. Almost a year from, like 2 months from now, 3 months from now, we're finally getting our Uncharted movie. 10 years in the making. We'll see if it gets pushed back.
it will.
I guarantee it will. They also announced that they are making Into the Spideyverse 2.
Nice.
And that sequel is pronounced on October 7th, 2022. And the new Spider-Man will also be released in July of 2021. Barring that nothing goes wrong, we shall see. Venom 2 has its name. It is called Venom, Let There Be Carnage.
I like
that
the title.
That is the title of Venom 2, because obviously Carnage is one of the main characters. Tom Hardy. Not Tom Hardy. Is it Tom Hardy?
Yeah.
Who plays Venom?
Yeah,
Mhm.
Tom Hardy.
Yeah. Made a joke in an interview that Spider-Man, and obviously he could just be straight trolling, but essentially he hinted at that Spider-Man Tom Holland will make a guest appearance
I hope fucking not.
in this movie, uh, based off of the agreement that Sony and Marvel have, that he may be in this movie in some sort of cameo role.
I don't even want the Venomverse connected to Spider-Man right now at all.
So we'll see. I think once this contract ends, he'll strictly go to the Venomverse, but at least so that way people who are watching it kind of get like a little
That's
hint.
not even my. That's not even my problem. It's like Eddie Brock, even Cletus. They're both too fucking old.
Yeah.
Like the characters themselves are supposed to be in their 20s, and Cletus is like at max 33.
Yep.
Like
Yeah, that
it doesn't work. The continuity is completely fucked. It does not work.
You just
man.
don't
God, I wish
want
I had
you
a
don't
little
want those
I'd be all
trash Spider-Man
stronger.
movies to be with those good Venom movies.
No, I don't want a buddy cop movie and then fucking Cletus Cassidy with Chucky doll hair in the same movie with a what I imagine to be 17-year-old, well at the time probably 18-year-old Peter Parker.
yeah.
I want
Yeah, the
40
timeline there
40
doesn't
and
really make
50-year-olds.
sense.
Fucking Woody Harrelson's goddamn like 58.
Yeah.
Like
Good
it
old
doesn't
Carnage.
work.
Who is he
30
playing?
years.
He's
He
playing
plays
Carnage.
Cletus
Carnage.
Cassidy, which is Carnage.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with Spider-Man? Like the actual like symbiote
Yeah.
villains? It
Oh
seems
my-
like you are because you seem stressed out.
Yeah,
Woody
Woody-
Harrelson's playing Carnage.
Yeah.
So if you're familiar with Carnage, Woody Harrelson is playing a
I love him as
complete-
an actor.
Yes. He's playing a complete 100% psychopath, sociopath, murderous, no holds
What?
barred, complete and utter batshit crazy person who also, I mind you, is about as skinny as a fucking twig. Cletus Cassidy's a very slim, very
Yeah.
thin dude.
But
And he
that's
also it doesn't work.
does
We'll
it?
see.
Fucking
We'll see.
Eddie
Who
Brock's
knows?
supposed to be just a jock.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
a jock
yeah,
who
Eddie's a
ends
jock.
up becoming a disgraced photographer because he falsified some photos, and then he got kicked out, and then he just like realistically, and everyone hates this movie. Everyone dislikes it. I didn't hate it. I didn't mind Spider-Man 3. I thought the
I like
Venom in
Spider-Man
Spider-Man
3.
3 was fine. I don't think Topher Grace was a great choice for that because let's be honest, Topher Grace is always Eric Foreman, and he never will be anything else. Like if you've seen like Valentine's
know
Day
what
or
you mean.
whatever it is, he always plays the goofy, quirky, awkward kid.
I feel that way about the what was the the main, well, they're all main characters fucking from The Office.
Jim?
Yeah, Jim playing any other role but Jim. Like he play, you know what I'm talking
he's
about, that
so-
movie show or
Yep.
whatever it was he's in. I saw the preview for that and I was like,
So what I will say, what changed my mind is
Anytime
watch
I see him, I'm
13
like, all I
hours
see
and
is
you'll
that.
change your mind. He plays a serious role so incredibly
He
well
does.
after I watched
he did
13
do a
hours.
good job in that show.
The Tom Clancy show,
Hmm.
it's really solid. I watched the first like 5-6 episodes. I mean, I mind you, I'm like 2 seasons behind now, 2 or 3. But like the first 3 episodes I saw were solid. They were really good.
A Quiet
Because
Place
I
is
watched 13
phenomenal
hours
as well.
though. I don't know if like he could be the greatest actor of all time in that movie. I just don't feel like I want to see him in a horror movie.
Yeah.
Is there
There's
any
talks of him playing Mr. Fantastic, and I'm very excited for that.
Is there any previews of Woody playing this character yet?
Have you watched the end? Well, technically not in Carnage form, but have you watched the end credit scene of Venom?
No, I haven't even seen Venom.
Look up
I'm
the
so
end.
behind
So
on it.
if you're not really caring about all that shit, just look up the end credit scene. Just look up Cletus Cassidy. Or no, look up Woody
God,
Harrelson Venom.
Fucking Carrot Top.
That's what I'm saying. It looks like they ripped off a wig from a mannequin and plopped it on his bald ass head.
Yeah.
Mind you, he's
Right.
not even fully bald. He's balding, and you can tell in the movie. You can see it. I guess my biggest issue is Cletus Cassidy is a sociopath, so he is always completely he's a psychopath, sociopath, like he's always 100% off his rocker. The specific phrase that he said in the end of the first Venom movie was, "Eddie, I can turn the crazy on if you want." That's not how he is. It's
No,
not
it's
even
not.
the character by a long shot. It's I'm fucking insane. And I mind you, once again, this is comic shit. So if you didn't follow the comics, like obviously, like I don't expect anyone to know this, but he stabbed Eddie Brock because Eddie's music was slightly too loud. He tried to kill a man because his radio was too loud.
Yeah,
was
Carnage
upset.
is not a stable character at all.
His first comment when he met Spider-Man is in the comics, and this is also in the show, in the kids show from the 90s, was that I'm going to chop you up and fit you into a matchbox. Like, this dude's a batshit wild, evil human being with like no soul. And Woody Harrelson just made him look like a joke, and I was very upset.
Well, it'll be interesting to see him. I hope he pulls it off. I mean, don't get me wrong.
You muted yourself, Sugar. Oh, there you go.
It looks like a weird. It's definitely strange, but if he can do it, I mean, he's got a lot of practice as being an actor. He might be able to pull it off. What was it? I'm trying to think of another movie where something like that happened, where it was like
A lot of people were questioning
ended
Heath
up being a
Ledger
good
at first.
Mm-hmm.
They were like,
Yeah,
"How is the
I
guy
think
from
that is
10
what I was
Things I
thinking.
Hate About You gonna play the Joker?"
Brokeback Mountain.
yeah, I think yes,
Yeah.
yes, I think that's
That was probably it.
Yeah, they're like,
think
"He's
that
from
is what I was thinking
Brokeback
of.
Mountain and 10 Things I Hate About You. He's playing the Joker." What?
So who knows? He might be able to
Yeah.
pull it off. But these pictures,
I could forgive
Type
it
in
if
Woody
it
Harrelson
wasn't for the
Carnage.
hair and for like I could forgive even his comments. But the age just doesn't work. It's there's not a single thing like Carnage. I mean, Cletus Cassidy never even got old. In the current run for Carnage, the symbiote is literally latched to the tendons and the bones of Cletus because he's dead now. And he's running around as a sentient skeleton. And it's really fucking dope because he's even more evil than he was because he killed a god. But like when he left the body, the skeleton just fell to the ground.
he kills
And
a god.
He kills the god of symbiotes. His name is Null, and he was the darkness in the world, and then his will created the symbiotes, the Clintar. The Clintar is so it's really weird because the planet is called Clintar, and the creatures, which are the symbiotes, are also called the Clintar. So it's one of the same. But he created that, and also those beings, they're not evil by any means. They get warped due to the personality they attach to, which is why this symbiote is so fucking dangerous because the first person it attached to was a complete and utter like demon.
Psychopath.
Yeah, like it's wild. Like there's a lot to go into that, but that's
That's
not
interesting.
this. But dude, I have too much fucking knowledge on like Spider-Man lore and shit.
It's good though.
I had 2 encyclopedias of Spider-Man when I was young, and I read through all of them at least 30 times. Like it was so good.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. The first one did really good, so we'll see if number 2 can follow suit. And the last piece of movie news.
I
Go
hope
ahead,
it's
James.
good. I do.
I hope so too.
I should have
I
had
hope
that
so, too.
Gregor guy from the UFC play him. I bet he would.
Conor McGregor.
Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Or
not to
Jim
cut
Carrey
anyone
would
off.
be good.
Back in before when there was going to be a Spider-Man 4 from the old series from the Nolan.
Yeah, wasn't Jim Carrey supposed to be
Jim Carrey or the guy who played Rorschach were going to be the 2 people that were supposed to play him. And I think Jim Carrey would have been a phenomenal choice because he can play absolutely batshit insane, no problem, and he fits.
That'd have been pretty cool.
I also wouldn't have been mad with I think his name is like Kelly something, but the guy who played Rorschach or Freddy Krueger in one of the newer ones, if you're familiar, he's from Bad News Bears way back. He's the guy I think it was on the motorcycle. But yeah, sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. The last piece of movie news I have is that any Jackass fans?
Yeah, I
love
remember
those
watching
movies.
that shit all the time.
Johnny Knoxville's my favorite.
Jackass 4 is finished being written. It's finished being written and will begin filming soon. And is expected to hopefully release March 5th, 2021. All the main characters are going to return, except for the ones who unfortunately cannot. But for the most part, everyone will be returning to Jackass in all of its glory. So
I wonder how
cool.
well Steve-O's going to be now that he's like more sober
Sober?
than he was. Because I was
He's still
listening to a
gonna do
podcast.
some fucked up shit. I guarantee
Oh,
it.
100%. But like he was talking about how like there was a lot of things he physically couldn't do unless he was coked out of his mind.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. The first two Jackasses he was. The third one he wasn't. I
Mhm,
think that's the
because of
third
the
one he
whole-
got sober. The first two, even when they first started Jackass, he was as high as a kite on massive amounts of drugs for every
Mhm.
single episode. So, but yeah, Jackass 4 is returning. So long-awaited movie for those people who have been waiting. So we shall see how that ends up. It'll be very interesting for sure because all of them. It's been 10 years
Yeah.
ish.
Yeah, right
Yeah.
around.
So especially I want to see how their bodies hold up. Bam Margera's fat now, so that'll be interesting.
He's lost some weight at least.
He has. He had a huge drug problem. Basically, Steve-O got rid of his, and Bam gained his, and then he got kind of big. So we'll see what happens. But I like the Jackass movies. I thought they're fucking funny. So let's get into some gaming news, boys.
All right. So, I'm not even gonna read this. Red Dead Redemption 2 is coming to Xbox Game Pass for consoles.
Oh.
So they're getting rid of GTA 5 and putting on Red Dead 2.
I don't know if that's a smart move, but we'll see.
I wonder if that's a
We'll
sign
see.
for GTA.
6 has got to be coming out eventually.
Oh yeah. Madden 21 revealed the cover athlete.
Who's getting
Who
the
is it?
curse?
Lamar Jackson, the MVP last year from the Baltimore Ravens. He's the quarterback for the team.
Okay, so the first game is tearing his ACL. Got it.
Yep. What's funny is that the apparently the Baltimore Ravens Twitter account broke the news early
Oops.
that he was going to be the cover athlete. We'll save that for last because I'm sure me and Mark can talk about that for a little bit. Let's take a look at this. Is some really interesting news here. We're gonna do something a little different. We're gonna actually take a look real quick at the Japanese sales of games. If
Good.
it decides to load,
I got something on that.
just to take a look and see what's coming up. It does not want to load. Fuck me. Animal Cross. Oh wait, no. Here we go.
Yep,
It's
that's
starting to load.
exactly what I was looking at.
Well, while that's loading, let's look at the best-selling stuff for March here in the U.S. real quick. This is from VG Charts. Let's see here. The top selling. All right, so fuck off ads. I love it when a website takes like a quarter of the screen for ad space. All right,
All
so
you
the
have
top
is that little box. It's great.
top 20 selling games in terms of dollars for last month or for the March. We have Animal Crossing New Horizons, which came out 10 days before the month ended. Modern Warfare, MLB 20 The Show, RE3 Make, NBA 2K20, Doom Eternal, Persona 5 Royal Edition, GTA 5 at number 8. Still holding strong.
Jesus.
Borderlands
awesome.
3, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Neo 2, Red Dead 2, FIFA 20, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX, Madden 20, Just Dance 2020, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, Mortal Kombat 11, and Modern Warfare 2 Remastered. So those are the top selling, best-selling games in terms of dollars. Xbox One games. Go through the list real quick. Modern Warfare, RE3, Doom Eternal, NBA 2K20, GTA 5, Madden 20, Red Dead 2, Jedi Fallen Order, FIFA 20, and Minecraft Xbox One Edition at number 10. PlayStation 4, we have MLB 20 The Show, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Persona 5, RE3 Make, NBA 2K20, Neo 2, Doom Eternal, GTA 5, Modern Warfare 2 Remastered, and FIFA 20. Switch games, Animal Crossing, Mario Kart 8, Smash Bros., Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Just Dance 2020, Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Party, Luigi's Mansion 3, New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, Pokemon Sword, and then the top 10 games of 2020 through March. Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Animal Crossing New Horizons, which again, through March, from the beginning to now, to March, Animal Crossing, which is only released for like 10 days.
That's
is
awesome.
number 2, is the second best selling game of the year right now in the US. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, NBA 2K20, MLB 20 The Show, GTA 5, RE3, Madden 20, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Jedi Fallen Order.
I love it.
Let's see if this actually loaded, because it's a little jank. Nah, it's not going to load. Fuck.
What did you have on this, Shredder? You said you have stuff on this topic.
I'll wait until James is ready to talk about Animal Crossing.
I don't think
I
it's going to
gotcha.
load, because it's weird. I have to go through, because it came through Google Translate of a website, and it, as soon as I say it, it's starting to load.
Because the
Just-
shit going on in China is bonkers right now.
Oh yeah, they're banning Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
Why?
Because people
We're
are
doing
using
Hong
it.
Kong stuff.
Because
Talked
yeah,
about it
people are
last
using.
week. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's actually it. I don't know how much more. Where is it at? They're actually
So-
banning a whole bunch of stuff. Pretty much anything that has the socializing aspect to it, because people are using it to protest, like kind of what you were talking about last week. They're using it to protest the Chinese government.
In the game?
And yeah, and the political force over there considers these gaming places to be a authority vacuum, is the actual term they use. They're also basically making it almost impossible for people in the country to socialize on these gaming platforms. They're working on rules, laws, various things to make it almost impossible for people in China to be able to communicate and socialize using these.
How are they doing it in the game? Can you make signs or something in the game, or they
Yeah.
just?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. People are doing like protest rallies and
How many
creating.
people can you have on one island?
8. You can have 8
Oh.
people coming to your island.
That's not really big. Well, I imagine that they're probably like streaming it or something to.
Oh, I got you.
I mean, if they're making it big enough to the point where
They're banning
if
it.
if it's making a big enough wave that it's causing them to lock it down like it's fucking nuts.
Is this still stemming from that stuff from like last year with Blizzard and all that? Is that what this is? Like
Kinda,
where
yeah, it's the
Yeah, it's still
protests
the
on
Hong Kong
Kong stuff.
protests. Yeah.
the Hong Kong protests or whatever, and then like the uh all that noise. I don't remember what the protests were about, but I can't remember. I know what they're talking about, but then yeah, because that one guy from Hearthstone, whatever, got banned for life, or
And receded for a 6-month ban.
yeah, for
Yeah.
talking about the Hong Kong protests and shit. And
It's insane how much power. Like the fact that even their power reaches over here in certain situations.
yeah,
Like it's just staggering.
yeah, that's wild. That's crazy though. Did that website load for you, James?
Yep, that website loaded. Let's take a look at the top 10 softwares. This is actually very interesting of from Japan. The big thing is that this has cumulative numbers as well as the weekly numbers. Number 1 is Animal Crossing. It sold 286,586 units.
And this is just Japan.
Yeah, this is just Japan. In Japan alone, it sold 3,611,246 units already.
Animal Crossing itself.
Animal Crossing, just Animal Crossing.
Oh, wow.
Final Fantasy VII Remake sold the time of this, 77,000 or 773,505 units.
Oh, yeah, for
Mario
like a
Kart 8
day.
Deluxe, yeah, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is at third. RE3 Remake has sold 236,435 so far. Smash Bros. Ultimate has sold 3,655,868. One Piece Pirate Warrior 4 on PS4. One Piece Pirate Warrior 4 on the Switch. Super Mario Party has sold almost 1.5 million copies.
Wow.
Pokemon Sword and Shield has sold. They forgot a comma in there. I would assume like 3.5 mil. And then Switch for Minecraft. Here's one thing that's actually kind of funny though. Estimated hardware sales from April 13th to April 19th. PS4 sold 23,606 units in Japan. Switch sold 19,273 units. PS4 Pro sold 10,894 units. Switch Lite sold 8,601 units. The new 2DS XL sold 1,457 units. The new 3DS XL sold 114 units. Xbox One S, 31 units. Xbox One X, 22 units.
F.
That's fucking amazing.
Fuck. How does that even happen?
Japan hates Xbox and Microsoft.
Oh yeah, no, they're. Just to put it in perspective, real quick, lifetime sales for the PS4 Pro which is one of the lowest ones on the list. Or you know what? Fuck it. Let's do the new 3DS XL. It's 588,000 units.
The 3DX, okay.
Yeah, the 3DS XL, the one that sold 144 units last week. Lifetime, the One X has sold 19,000 units in Japan.
Ooh.
That's horrible. That's fucking funny.
I remember one time reading this, like a thing on this. It was like the Vita sold like 66 units, and the Xbox One sold 2 for a week. I was like, fuck, Microsoft, get out of that market.
That's funny.
In other news, Yakuza 7's on sale on the Japanese PlayStation Store.
That's awesome.
It's 30% off right now. I might cop it. It's like $60. Guerrilla Games might be making a trilogy out of the Horizon Zero Dawn franchise. Okay. New game's gonna be coming, and then they're probably gonna be making a co-op one as like a trilogy. Didn't really. Looking at it now, I don't think there's a whole lot to talk about that because it's all speculation. Sega is going to be doing a virtual booth in VR chat coming up soon. So, cool.
Mhm.
Last thing that I have, other than the Twitch stuff, Team Fortress 2 and Counter-Strike Go were in the news this past week.
Hey.
Why's that?
For some bad things.
Yeah.
Some pretty bad things. Apparently, there's a way to, at least according to initial reports, a way of, if you're playing with, say, like a hacker on a server, they can be able to explain this a little better. If you know what I'm talking about, the whole malware stuff, the source code stuff.
Yeah, so there was a leak of the source code used for Team Fortress and Counter-Strike from, I believe it was either 2016 or 2018, so a relatively older version of the game. But somebody found a source version of it, so like the development version of it. So everyone was freaking out, being like, hey, you know, this is out here, you can make malware with this, like, understand how the game works, all that sort of shit. And it kind of got blown up a bit more than it is. And I think it was either yesterday or 2 days ago, Valve came around and said, we understand that this is out here. This is an older build of our game used from a few years ago. You don't have to worry about exploits in here being
Okay.
it's a little bit different. Again, it's difficult to say, being that that's supposedly what the game's based off of, and they would have to remake it to change that sort of thing. But at least they did reach out and say, hey, you can comfortably play the games, and you shouldn't have anything to worry about.
Yeah, that's what I heard. They were saying that.
Okay.
Okay, because it was like you said, an older build.
What was up with that whole like being able to get your, like, wasn't there something about like breach of security too for like the actual players? Weren't you saying something about that, James, in the chat?
They collect so much information whenever they like run your game and that sort of stuff. So
Yeah,
it's just it was worried about people being like, hey, like, what if I just send this server command that I somehow make myself look like a server and then send it to this dude and get all of his information?
Mhm.
I think that more so was the worry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Also, I don't have it on here. Everyone here, well, not Jeff, but all you guys, make sure to turn on two-factor authentication for your Nintendo account
Yeah.
That's
They don't want
because
Why?
a bunch of
ID
bunch of accounts
anymore.
got hacked. A ton of accounts
150,000.
got hacked.
100,000. Yeah.
Mhm.
Was it 50 or 15?
150,000.
150.
A lot more than I
Yeah.
thought.
Yeah, so make sure to
Along
turn
with
that
the
on.
750,000 Zoom accounts.
Yikes.
Yeah. Yeah, make sure to turn on two-factor. Go to Nintendo's website and turn that on.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now.
Like right
There was a
now.
hu-
If you're
huge
hearing
breach.
this, do it right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that just happened today.
last
Epic.
thing real quick. Alinity should get banned from Twitch.
She got
Alinity.
suspended.
Wanted to explain who that is for
Oh,
those who
did
don't
she
know.
actually get suspended? Oh yeah, no,
Yeah,
she did.
She got a
Yeah.
3-day suspension.
Oh,
For
yeah,
calling
only
out
3
to
days.
people.
3 days.
For calling
What?
out
Wait.
Twitch.
Whoa. Hold on. She for that?
Yeah, she got a 3-day
It wasn't for
suspension.
her showing
saying
her
that
tits on
I sh-
stream?
Yeah, she said I should have gotten a suspension for it. Like that's I don't want
She
to say
shouldn't be on the
verbatim.
fucking platform.
It's on Twitter if you want to look. Like
I'll
that's
have to
how
look
she
it up.
responded. And
Uh,
she
I mean, good
added,
for
James,
her,
she
but-
explain
added
who that is
Twitch
in case
and was
someone
just like,
doesn't
I
know.
should receive a suspension for this or get banned for this or something like that. Like this is
So-
too much.
So Alinity is a very popular female streamer on Twitch, most famously known for yeeting her cat across the room during a live stream, or getting eaten out by her dog on stream,
Weird.
or I can't remember if it was her cat or her dog. She gave them alcohol on stream. Yeah. So
Weird.
this
That's bonkers.
recently what happened was she was playing Just Dance and she was being a little goofy, and she stuck like a pillow under her shirt and a tit fell out. You got a little nip slip. So I read an article the other day from, I forget what publication it was. I'm never looking at them again. Basically calling everyone that's calling out Alinity as feminist pieces of shit, cucks, and or not feminist, like anti-feminist,
Misogynist.
misogynistic. Yeah, there you go. And voyeurs, creeps, that kind of stuff. And I'm like, dude, she's actively breaking terms of services almost on a monthly basis now.
Yeah, she's doing it. I'm reading that she started doing this on purpose to see if she could get banned.
Exactly.
Apparently
Does she
not.
bring that much traffic?
Yeah, I mean she's one of
Yeah.
the more popular ones.
Yeah,
on Twitch.
she's a very popular. I respect the hustle, and I respect she's
Terms
getting a
of
lot of
service.
views.
Okay.
She's putting in the work. She's making that bread, and I gotta respect that. But
Is she like a abundantly just bad person, or has she had a couple just really big fuck ups?
a few pretty big fuck ups.
Like
A few-
overall, she's not like a toxic, terrible person.
I
No.
personally don't like her content. Like,
Mm-mm.
I
She-
think. Go ahead.
Everything that I've seen from her, like outside of the controversy and stuff, seems like a really nice person.
Okay.
At least
She has 1.1 million followers, and her channel's been viewed 66 million times. That's on Twitch.
she is extremely popular.
I'd say, jeez.
But there are people that are getting more hefty bans and more hefty punishments for less shit than Alinity. It's there's some favoritism going on.
she-
Yeah.
She posted yesterday on Twitter, I am finally getting suspended on Twitter. I'm finally getting suspended on Twitch. Our hard work has finally paid off. Good
Yeah.
job, guys.
Yeah, 'cause she was still up after people reported the nip slip.
Hmm.
So she was just trying to get banned. What the fuck?
Hey man,
That's
I
so
mean
weird.
she might be exposing the fucking favoritism on the Twitch staff, but
Yeah.
oh well. What can you do?
Yeah, she posted that she's finally excited that she's getting banned finally. Not banned,
Hmm.
but suspended.
Yeah.
That's
Suspended.
crazy.
Yeah.
It just goes to show if you try really hard,
You can accomplish your dreams.
anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Do
Go to
anything, yeah.
Hitbox for that kind
Make
of
your
stuff.
dreams a reality.
Go to
Just
Hitbox for
do
Mixer.
it.
Just too. It's
Go to Caffeine, the live streaming platform.
What?
It's this fucking it's like the secondary streaming platform called Caffeine. A lot of like semi big rappers have been using it recently. And like Emmanuel
why not?
Emmanuel Thompson, I think his name is. The guy who did the Why You Asking All Them Questions videos, and he's on like Wild and Out shit.
That's
I'm
a
pretty sure
good
he's on
one.
there too.
I love that track. I was just humming that in my head the other
Why
day.
You Asking Yeah.
Assuming.
Emmanuel Hudson, that's his name.
Go to Hitbox. Do that. Go to Hitbox instead. That's it that
What
I
else?
have.
What else is going on? Guys, what else is going on?
I
you
mean,
got,
the
Mark?
only thing. Oh, sorry.
Or James, yeah, whoever wants to go.
You guys
Don't
hear
mind.
about Epic
What's up with Epic?
Fortnite on mobile?
Oh yeah, Fortnite is now available on the Play Store, the Google Play Store.
I had no idea that was never not available on
Finally
Android
submitted.
devices.
Yeah, you had to download the APK right from Epic's website for the longest time.
They were not feeling that 30% that they had to give to Google. That's why they did it.
Yeah,
'Cause
because
it-
they have that unlimited money. That
Yeah.
unlimited Epic money now.
Yeah. That's from what I was reading. That's the big reason they didn't want to be on the Play Store was because of the 30% revenue sharing.
That's
With them.
hilarious.
Hmm.
That's yeah. I
Well,
seen
they
that,
don't have
that
to
they,
worry about that because on PC, because it's all coming through the Epic Store.
That is true. That's very, very, very true.
Which
What do you got, Nate?
makes me
I was double checking because I'm trying to find the exact numbers so far. But mind you, we're realistically not too far into 2020. But the iPhone SE has just outsold the majority of phones sold this year. I want to find the exact number because it's either they outsold or they are extremely close. Within the fact that the SE has only come out a couple of days ago, like I want to say 2
Yeah.
or 3.
Looks really
It's a
good.
$300. It's a $400 iPhone. I mind you, yes, it's
That's
the chassis.
crazy.
It's kind of the chassis of an 8, but it's got an A13 processor, which is what the newest phones are running, like the top of the line phones, and it's running the main camera from the top of the line, from the Pro series. Like, it's a tank of a phone. Like, if you look at spec wise,
$400,
obviously,
like, that's
Yeah.
sweet.
there's a lot of
400
people
bucks is
who are like, oh, it's old. It's like all this, but like. First of all, half of y'all were screaming and hollering you wanted Touch ID back. They gave it to you. Sure, it's in the body of an 8. I mind you, the body of an 8 is tweaked. The camera is actually slightly more actually in the phone now. It has that little swoop, and they obviously edited their logo. It's in the center with nothing else, which honestly, I like that idea. I like the fact that it's just the logo, nothing else. We're not worrying about anything. I just think that looks cleaner. The phone's super solid. I can't find the exact numbers. I think it might just be too early. I watched a YouTube video on it earlier. Other than that, there's more information. Some actual something I was gonna talk about last week, but since I wasn't on, you know, how Apple they only can't really canceled one thing ever. Do you remember what that was?
The
Charging pad.
Air power.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
That ain't dead. That ain't dead at all, actually.
What about their self-driving car division?
Ooh, God.
We also have Project Titan to talk about. Yeah, that was their car. That was never canceled. It was put on a back hold apparently, and like there's
Just
still
like,
people working on
Dying
it.
Light
quote,
2.
unquote. Yeah. Is this still happening? None applicable.
Yeah,
Just
you know,
don't ask
just
about it.
ask me again later.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
But
I'm not feeling
Get the
feeling
fuck
it
out of my
today.
kitchen.
air power is actually back. So obviously they haven't fully confirmed this, but there's a lot of people who got sent home with a bunch of prototypes. And there was a picture of a prototype leaked from someone who had it. They sent it to John Prosser, which runs Front Page Tech over on YouTube. And he's friends with like these people, like leakers, obviously, like there's people that are leakers everywhere. And he was talking about it. There's actually going to be an A11 chip in it that is going to because the biggest issue was the fact that they would catch fire because all those coils in it, because Apple's idea is They just want you to be able to set it down and call it a day. They don't want you to have to look for a certain spot. And the thing that really caused it was the Apple Watch, because the Apple Watch is technically a proprietary charger. It was a magnetic charger. And every time they set that down, it would overheat the coils inside and eventually it would catch fire. So what they're doing now is they put a physical chip inside of it. And that chip is going to be 100% live. It's going to be working all the time. And it's meant to regulate temperature. If something gets too hot, it's going to power that area down and move that and distribute it over the rest of the pad itself. It's really, really interesting. If this works the way it is, and so far, the people who have brought it home and the people who are in contact with these YouTubers, the leakers and all that stuff, they're saying it's working in full force. And they're also, Apple did release some information. Either they released it or Ming Chi Kuo released it again. But there is pretty much 99% confirmation that the AirTags are coming out. The AirTags are a thing. It is confirmed, more or less, about as confirmed as the SE was. We all knew that was coming since the end of 2020, end of 2019, I should say. Yeah, just a lot of Apple stuff. There was some leaked renders in iOS 14 for all the developers and iOS 13.3.4, or either iOS 13.4.3, one of the two. But of actual renders for the iPhone 12 itself, because all that good stuff is in there. If you look hard enough, and you know how to go through code and shit. I would look into that, but I don't know how to do any of that, so I'm not even gonna bother. It looks like we are getting our squared bezels. It's a lot of misinformation if we're actually getting a notchless iPhone though, which would be interesting. And I would be actually pretty excited, but apparently so far with the information that we have is we are going to just get a smaller notch. The big thing about that is it looks like there's this little oval shaped not button, but more of a divot kind of situation on the side of it, which looks like it's for a smart connector. There were speculations that maybe it was for a iPhone capable Apple Pencil. That turns out it's not the case. It's looking like this is actually going to be the next iPhone for 2021. But if anyone can take a guess at what Apple has been saying a lot, that is actually going to be more than likely for MagSafe. So if everyone's familiar with what MagSafe is, it's what was on the iPad, not iPads, but MacBooks back to like 2016 or 2015 was the last one that actually had it before they switched over. And because Apple's going portless, that's their plan. They already stated they are not doing USB Type-C. They are skipping right over into portless. And that is a really, really good way to get themselves out of the fire, because if they're not going to ship AirPower with these phones, which would make it substantially more expensive to purchase an iPhone, it's a really good cop-out. And mind you, MagSafe worked pretty fucking well, and it charged MacBooks fantastically. Like, it just worked. And also, nothing ever gets stripped, because if you like knock it over, you're not having a cord get like yanked and fucking all this shit happen to it. The inside's fray. It just boop right on the side. If it does get knocked, it just boop right off instead of getting yanked out of a product. I also think that's going to help a lot of like cord life, because a lot of people, they're like bending their cords because they're like using it on their bed or whatever. The fact that this is going to be on the side, I think is actually a super smart move. And I don't see why people haven't done side phone ports. I think that actually would be a better option, so people can like use their phones more. Because when I'm holding my phone, if it's charging and I'm using it, I don't know, this might just be a personal thing, but I don't like it being there. Obviously, you see I'm accustomed, and we're all accustomed to things being on the bottom. But I think going to the side is a fresh start. Something cool, something neat to look at. Just kind of cool. That is confirmed, but not confirmed. We still don't know exactly what that smart connector is going to be for, or if it is in fact a smart connector, but that is the heaviest amount of speculation that we have. Other than that, they're still doing their stuff with Dave, which is pretty cool. They're still making sure people are getting their masks that they made, so that's dope. Other than that, I don't have too much else. Google hasn't really released anything else since the 4A and the stuff about the 5 got leaked that I talked about a little while ago. There was another thing about something happened with the Galaxy Ultras again. I can't remember what it was, but all I know is Samsung fucked up again, and their products aren't working the exact way they're supposed to still.
What else is new?
Surprise, surprise. they're not blowing up this time, which is a positive. Also, just a little bit of Apple being petty. OnePlus actually released their phones this week as well. Well, I guess the past week. But they're the new OnePlus 8 and OnePlus 8 Pro. Both I believe they finally have wireless charging, if I recall. I think the Pro does. I don't believe the normal one does. But that was a huge thing that people were asking for. And I know the owner of OnePlus, like the CEO or whatever, hated it because it made things more expensive. And they're like, well, we don't need this when our chargers can charge a phone in like 15, 20 minutes. Well, it's kind of cool that people finally have it. Yeah, other than that, not too much in the phone world or anything. It's kind of all I got at the moment. But yeah, that's some info about the cellular world.
Beauteous. Thank you, man.
No, it's
Yeah.
It was actually that's really good news for anyone that's looking to get an iPhone. And you were questioning whether or not that iPhone that's going to be worth it. It really is.
It's a huge thing for the legacy holders who are still running like just a normal 6 or even like an older SE or a 5. This is going to keep you in that familiar territory for an extremely good price. So I think it's a cool idea. It's a good thing.
Oh,
yeah.
Heck yeah, man. Thank you. Mark, what do you got?
Nothing too crazy. I actually have two pieces of news, both regarding Apple, and probably not crazy good either. But we'll go through this pretty quick.
I think I was looking at that.
So there was a 0-day exploit that was found in
Yep.
Apple's iOS Mail app, found earlier this week by the security research firm SecOps, who said they found evidence of an exploit being used against at least 6 high-profile targets using the Mail app. They go into further details explaining who they are, but let's not talk about that real quick. Pretty much what it just does is it allows you to get pretty much all of the mail information associated with your Apple Mail. So if you have any confidential information, it's not crazy good. ZecOps did say that Apple had already addressed the issues in the beta version of the Apple Mail, and this was an exploit as far back as iOS 6. So
Wow.
it's been around for quite a while. Apple did come around and say that they didn't find any evidence of this claim. They're thoroughly investigating the researchers' report, and based on the information provided, we've concluded that these issues don't pose an immediate risk for our users. So, yeah, this is one thing that's going around. Okay, in case, just so you're up to date. Go Apple. One last Apple thing. There's another iOS text bug going around. So there's a certain string of text that's going around. If you see it on your phone, it crashes your iPhone.
Nice.
Does it brick it this time, or does it just crash it?
Supposedly, it just crashes it. So
that still sucks.
You have to force reboot it to get it back into a working state, or wait a minute for your springboard to recover. So it doesn't kill it. It says if you have iOS 13.4.1 or earlier, it will crash. So update your phones.
Yeah.
That reminds me of a bug in I think it was like Tony Hawk's Underground 1 or 2 on the PlayStation 2. You could, since you could send and receive messages on there, you could basically not brick someone's, but crash someone's system, sending like a string of text through a message.
That shit's wild.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Walker, if you're done eating, we would like to hear your news.
Sorry. Well, Jeff, do you have anything?
This is something this might be even on your docket, and this might be old news, but I just learned about it today. The WrestleMania? Is that what it is? They are not making another one this year.
Yeah, is there usually 2?
Well, not this year, but next year. They're
2K21.
Yeah.
WWE 2K21.
is not going to be released.
Well,
Do
that's
you
a
guys?
fucking godsend.
Well, do you guys? Well, that's. I think that's. Do you think that's why? Do you think because this one was so glitchy and
It
buggy?
It has
Yeah,
to be.
It was. Yeah.
It wasn't even that. Yes, it was so glitchy and buggy, but oh my god, the fucking graphics
It
were
was a flip.
just so
It was a
terrible.
fucking trash fire. Well,
The
do
Rock
you know
looked
why
like
it
the
looked terrible?
The
The Brock
graphics looked
Lesnar
like
was
they
the
were for.
worst.
Yeah.
Do you know why it was
Fucking
so
PS1.
so
they switched
glitchy and so
companies.
terrible? They
No?
switched companies.
Really?
Yeah. It used to be Ukes. And then they got rid of Ukes, who used a proprietary engine that they made to make
Okay.
this game.
To make the faces and everything.
Midway through development, they cut Ukes from the company,
Hmm.
and they used an in-house team. 2K did an in-house team to make the game, using this proprietary engine that Ukes made that no one knows
fucking clue how to use.
exactly.
So, the thing that
Oh.
blows my mind is that obviously 2K knows how to make a fucking game. They make like FIFA and all that shit. Like I don't know if they're the ones who like developed it and everything.
Not
They
2K.
they
Like
2K
Borderlands and
okay.
2K
So-
2K sports games like NBA 2K.
Oh yeah, okay. So NBA. So for that as reference, those games look good. They're
Yeah.
solidly done. Why
But that's
didn't they just push the game back a couple months and it would have been
Each
perfectly
game
fine?
uses
Because
two
they-
separate facial recognition technology.
Really?
They don't
Mhm.
use the same.
Yeah.
It's such a
yeah,
trash fire.
it's imagine this, okay? Imagine you're writing a report that's due on this specific day that cannot be moved.
Okay.
You're writing this report in English. And then
And it's 50
You're like-
pages.
yeah, your professor's like, "Hey, you're not working on this report anymore. Go heck off." "Hey, Mark, you're fluent in French. You only know French. You were born in Paris. Finish this paper in English. You have until this set date."
And by
Can't
the way,
move
you
it at
can't
all.
use the other person's wording either. You have to redo it.
Well, no, it was like all the wording and
Yeah.
everything they got, but like, here,
They had
you
no
just
idea.
finish it.
Yep.
So now
How,
you
how
like,
well do you think that would
essentially,
go over?
You had two competing forces like inside of each other, just not meshing well. Is that what happened realistically?
No, it was just becoming too expensive to make on Uke's end.
Yep.
The game,
Hmm.
and they were like, we can't make this game in this time period anymore.
Yeah.
And then 2K's like, well, I guess we're ending our partnership.
Yep.
You
bye.
guys go do whatever you want.
And that Ukes company has made WWE games for the last 20 years.
Yeah.
Since
Since like N64 days.
That's insane.
Yep.
Yeah. And now they're going to be working on, I think, a New Japan game.
yep.
Hmm.
AEW, Cody Rhodes, the competing company to WWE, said their game will be out by the end of the year.
They're probably making it. Ukes.
Yeah.
Because Ukes is the only company that knows how to fucking make this shit anymore.
Yep.
They're the only company that's been doing it for as long.
So who owns the rights to the games? 2K does.
Yeah.
2K does now.
Why don't they?
It used to
Why don't
be
they pick up, like the people who use the whatever engines
Activision.
used on like FIFA and all that shit? Like
They
Why wouldn't
couldn't
they
in
do
the
that?
time. They couldn't
Uh,
in the time.
right. So
left.
like, but for future reference, why wouldn't they just do that? Because obviously
Oh,
they can
that's
make a
probably
game
what
in a
they'll do.
year. but
Yeah,
that's
and that's
not
why
how
they're
it was
waiting a
2021.
year. That's why they're going to probably be waiting an entire year because they're going to redevelop the software for their facial recognition, for their moves. Because what they do and how they make it behind the scenes is it's like a movie. So they
Right.
actually put those suits on the people and the dots,
Yeah, the
and they have
mocap.
two people
It's
wrestle.
very heavily mocapped.
Yeah, and they have them wrestle in a ring, so it captures all of that. And they didn't have that ability when 2K took away the Ukes company.
Well, they had it, but they
Uh,
kept knocking the little
yeah.
balls off, and everybody was
If-
getting real agitated and throwing
Nate, if
things
you
across the room.
if you want to learn more about this, a really great YouTube video by Matt McMuscles. Look up what happened
That's a great
WWE
name.
2K20. Yeah,
Okay,
by
Yeah,
Matt
that's
McMuscles.
so
It's great.
crazy.
Yeah, because and only reason like some of the stuff I know
Backyard
from
wrestling
watching
looked
like
better than that
Total
game.
Divas and stuff, as cliche and weird as that sounds, but they have Total Divas. It's a reality show from WWE, where they actually have to stand in a booth and they have full body scans. They have to smile, make faces, and do all of that
Mhm.
stuff for the video game.
Hmm.
So yeah, so it's pretty cool.
That's
For
wild.
myself for news, guess we'll start off big. So over the 2 days ago, no, yesterday I believe, there was a celebrity rock paper scissors game.
Was
So
Superhuman there?
that would be funny. No, I don't think he's not on the YouTube um caliber yet of celebrities.
He was supposed to be in the next wrestling game. I was really looking forward to it.
um, but it was a big success. The celebrities that they have are David Dobrik, Tina Mongol, Jeffree Star, a bunch of Fays, iJustice, and if you're not familiar with like YouTube or vloggers, you probably wouldn't know a lot of these people. But Valkyrie, she's a streamer. KSI, he's the one who fought Logan Paul. Mark Robber, Chris Ramsey, Ninja,
I love Chris Ramsey.
um, Ninja, Tifu, Pokimane, she's a streamer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nade Shot is the owner of the streaming company 100 Thieves.
Mhm.
He's a fucking ballin' millionaire. Mark Ass Brownlee, as it was said in the
Marquise.
if
Okay.
you watch PewDiePie's review of the YouTube Rewind, he keeps saying he says Mark Ass Brownlee because that's what he thinks that they say in the YouTube Rewind. Fucking PewDiePie.
Fucking
Um,
love Marquez. Marquez, that's his name. Right?
No, I know. I was just
No,
ever
yeah,
since
yeah.
I heard that
I
it was
mispronounced it.
Mark Ass. And there was a special guest. The special guest ended up being Jack Black.
Nice.
Hey.
So it was
Dope.
fucking yeah. So it was fucking entertaining. So all it was, literally rock paper scissors. They took two YouTubers on Mr. Beast's channel. Rock paper scissors go. 3 rounds, and then you move on. They raised $1.2 million for charity in 2 hours.
Goes to show.
Yep.
Ridiculous.
So
Good for them.
you would think that charity stream, everything's gonna be all hunky dory.
Just
Every-
loving rainbows.
Yes.
Not even
Competition.
But unfortunately, it did not happen that way. So they all got an email stating, "Hey, direct your viewers to Mr. Beast's channel on YouTube.com. That's how you donate. Do not stream this event. Streaming this event doesn't allow your viewers to donate because they have to still get off your page to come to mine. Just direct them to YouTube." That was the message sent to everybody that was a part of this. So Tifu, the streamer, didn't listen.
Of
Tifu
course.
is a Twitch streamer who streams Fortnite. So he decides to do his own thing, and he streams Mr. Beast's channel on his own channel. So you got Tifu chatting, doing his thing. He's waiting for his turn. He has a private message up on Facebook with him and Mr. Beast chatting. He goes to switch screens and leaks the URL to get access to the rock paper scissors stream that all the celebrities have access to, including Mr. Beast's personal phone number.
Ooh.
So in the middle of the charity stream, they have to stop the stream because it broke, because 25,000 people try to log on to Mr. Beast's charity stream because they had the private secret URL that was not to be leaked to anybody. So they had to stop the charity stream in the middle of it because Tifu leaked it by accident because he was streaming when he wasn't supposed to be streaming. If he wasn't streaming, he wouldn't have leaked it. So during the middle of a game, they went to go rock, paper, scissors. The stream cuts off. And they come back. Unfortunately, due to unforeseeable circumstances, our URL to our stream has been leaked, and we currently have about 25,000 people trying to log on to participate in this rock paper scissors competition, and it is breaking everything. We currently have people working on it. They have to make a new URL, and we have to send it out to everybody. I apologize for the delay. It was down for about 25 minutes.
Jesus.
So
Christ.
in then doing this, Ninja calls out Tifu,
Of course he does.
Good.
Because they hate each other.
and Tifu then goes off. Basically saying if Mr. Beast calls me out, it's fine. He can call me out. He can call me a dumbass. I'll take it. But Ninja shouldn't be running his mouth. Ninja's out there spamming my name in the chat. Tell Ninja that he's a, and I quote, fertile ass, pussy ass, cotton head ass bitch. And if he wants to come to my house and fight me, he can. So Ninja then replies, saying, I'm not the one who leaked Mr. Beast's phone number to the world. And then he replies back, well, you're a pussy. And then he replies,
Tifu's an
Good
insolent
comeback,
fucking
bro.
child.
Pussy.
How
And
old
then-
is Tifu? Is he like
He's
12?
18 or 19.
he's
Okay.
19.
Okay, so he's still a fucking child.
And so Ninja replies back, I'm sorry that I followed the rules and didn't have 50,000 people watching my stream when they could have been donating to Mr. Beast's stream. So then Tifu's brother chimes in and basically calls Ninja a little bitch. Ninja's wife then chimes in saying
Clever
that,
assault here.
oh yeah, and then basically saying that Tifu is hurting for money. And the only reason why he decided to break the rules in stream because you guys are poor ass bitches
Damn.
and need the money.
Sick.
Oh,
Tifu's
and then it
wife's
just-
not Tifu, but
Spam.
Ninja's wife's a savage.
Yeah. And
He's crazy.
basically went back and forth like this was supposed to be a and she ended this was supposed to be a fun good time, but then you assholes have to go ruin it with your negativity and bullshit. And then a bunch of people then tweeted about Tifu and it just kind of went from there. And then Tifu, he ended up losing to Pokimane, the one female streamer.
Mhm.
Um,
She's super dope.
and
She's
just
a good-
basically you see him scroll down and unplug his computer and straight cut his stream off. So yeah,
Oh,
that's
so he rage quitted at a fucking charity event.
He rage.
Yep.
He live rage
Wow.
quitted. That's awesome.
What a piece of shit
so
this
I
child
fucking
is.
hate Tifu.
so
Oh my
it ended all
God.
good.
Go
Nade
back
shot
to preschool, you fuck.
the owner of the streamer clan 1,000 Thieves, 100 Thieves ended up winning. He beat Jack Black in the finale. So
I would have purposely lost to Jack Black. That'd be an honor.
but yeah,
Oh
that
my
was
gosh.
so that was a very controversial but yet fun rock paper scissors. So Mr. Beast, he had it in the article I read. He did change his phone number. He immediately had to have someone change it, which I would be so mad. I'd be
Oh,
like,
yeah.
"Are you fucking kidding me?"
Jack Black has a very impressive beard.
Oh, he does.
Oh,
He's a
yeah.
sexy man.
Yeah. Got a great beard.
Fucking love Jack Black.
PUBG is finally getting bots for the first time. So what I mean by that is they're making a ranking system in PUBG that allow kind of like what Fortnite does. So Fortnite fills the lobby with bots if there's people that aren't your ranking to fill the lobby. And PUBG is now taking that and implementing it into their game for the
So
time.
they're doing that in their like actual like console and PC game. Is that what they're doing now?
Yes.
Because they did that actually. I don't know if they actually admitted it or not, but that's what they did back in when their mobile game came out. Until you hit like I want to say it's either rank 10 or 15, you're not playing against real people. Obviously, there's some real people in there, but the majority of the thing is full of bots. I'm not good at that game. I'm not good at mobile games at all. But when I'm leaving there with 15 to 30 kills, there's a problem.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. On PS4 and Xbox One,
Okay.
their collective skill setting has now developed and implementing bots in order to make it easier for new players to get more competitive. That'll be
don't-
coming out with their newest update.
Isn't that like semi backhanded at the same time though? Because you're not actually getting used to people being good. You're used to bots who
Yeah.
are programmed to kind of just roam and possibly shoot on sight.
Yeah,
Like-
but it still is kind of a like a.
Like a middle
kinda-
middle ground.
I wouldn't even say that. It's kind of like a booster to your.
Sure, it can help
to how you feel.
self-confidence.
Yeah, self confidence.
But
Yeah.
at the end of
like
the day, you go into a real match with people who know how to play the game, you're getting washed.
Oh yeah, but by then you're already worth it for
I guess.
the time playing.
Right, and on Fortnite, like back when I played, I played the beginning of season 2, not well, technically Fortnite 2, whatever they wanted to call it, after the Black Hole event. There's a bunch of bots, and they're literally just sitting there swinging their axe back and forth, doing
Yeah, it was
nothing.
pretty rad.
I'm like, I get the idea, and like I understand, and good on them, but at the end of the day, that kind of puts you at a mindset of, oh, I'm good, I can get kills, but you're just fighting things that are literally running into walls.
Oh, is it that bad?
It would. I think they fixed it now, but at the time, like I legitimately watched multiple people. This was before they had announced that yes, there are bots in the game, just running into walls and swinging at walls that they
Yeah,
already
when they
broke
shot, it
and
was like
continuously swinging.
oof, oof.
Oh yeah, and I
Oof.
ended up going head to head with a bot. He had a shotgun, and he shot everywhere around me.
Yep.
And I one-shotted him after because I was very confused because like he shot at my feet multiple times. I'm like, what's going on? So I pulled up, clocked him in the face with a pump, and it was over. Like any actual person would have been like, let's not just stand directly and just keep shooting forward. It was not great.
Yeah. So yeah, that's coming. Speaking of bots, Fallout 76 said they will be trying to implement pets in the game in a future update.
I like how
As-
Mark
Cool.
had the same exact reaction to that. Okay.
Okay.
As well as multiple sources have said that NPCs can steal your guns. So there has
Oh.
been plenty of
Oh,
videos
yeah.
that people have been posting where
What?
they have died. They go back to the spot and their gun's missing. They walk around and somebody and an NPC has the gun that they had last.
Well, that's not great.
I like that. That's fun. Well, I mean, it's you're in the you're in the wasteland.
That's
up
just
what
like
you find.
super inconvenient.
Oh yeah, that's fun.
You got your cachet chilling over there with a bunch of shit, and all of a sudden, some bot comes in and eats it.
Yep.
The fucking yoink.
So yeah, that is the developers haven't said that's true or not, but there's plenty of video evidence out there that basically solidifies this.
Oh,
Where they
Bethesda.
die, they come back, their gun's missing, they walk around, and someone else has it. So that's fucking hilarious. Final Fantasy
wonder if
14.
it's-
Go
I
ahead.
wonder if it's the villagers, like the people in the various towns, or if actually I don't know. Do they have NPCs just walking around the map as well? Because we've seen them in the little areas where it's like town type, but I didn't
Right.
notice any of them just kind of wander in the wasteland.
So when we say NPCs, are we talking about like actual NPC people or like the Ashen or whatever the fuck they're called?
Oh, the
No,
actual
the
people.
Yeah, the
That's
citizens.
weird.
It,
That
it
is
doesn't
weird.
say where, but it just says the NPC bots
That's funny.
magically end up with the gun that you currently had after you died.
I think it's a cool mechanic.
Final Fantasy 14 is getting another huge overhaul.
Hell yeah.
So one of the biggest complaints was when you start the game, you have to play a decent amount of Realm Reborn, and that
Mhm.
takes a lot
Yeah.
of time to get out of.
Yeah.
They are cutting that time in half.
What is Realm Reborn?
The
That
first
was
edition
the-
of the game.
well,
Base
that's
game of
after
Final
the
Fantasy.
second edition.
Basically the revamp of Final Fantasy 14. It's the base game, and
Yeah,
you
after
have
their black hole event.
you have a lot of missions, side quest fillers, limitations that you have during that time. They were cutting that in half, allowing you to enter the free world significantly faster, but still giving you the ability to reach level 50 if you so.
Hmm.
So a lot of people are
Interesting.
excited about that because that was they said the one complaint that a lot of people had about that game is that you spend too much time
And that
in
mainly
that main area.
I feel like that mainly focuses on people who are working on other characters,
Yeah.
like
Mm.
a fourth or fifth character having.
I
to
gotta
do
go
all
through
that
this shit again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much. Battlefield 5 current chapter will be its last. The developer said the future of Battlefield 5 will be written in its entirety here soon. Chapter 6 will be called Into the Jungle, and Chapter 7, sorry, will be its last chapter as they move into the future. They said that they are not done with Battlefield games, that the next game will most likely be released with the next generation console. So they are not finished yet, but they are going to be releasing another game next year. Um, we'll see how it holds up. You do have your diehard Battlefield fans.
I honestly prefer Battlefield over Call of Duty.
A lot
Just
of people
everyone
do.
plays
I
Call
do
of Duty.
too.
A lot of people do. Sea of Thieves is getting a massive update. It is called Ships of Fortune. It actually lets you fight against other trading companies.
Yep.
So
we
essentially,
talked about that at the
oh yeah, you're
Microsoft
right.
thing.
Yeah, you're right. We did. Um, that it came up because that releases this week.
Oh yeah. Oh okay. Yeah. Cool.
So
Yeah. Basically, you can do different trading companies and earn merits, that kind of stuff, through new groups of people now.
Yep. I was like, this sounds really familiar. I don't know why, but I'll talk about it since this week. But yeah, you're right. We did talk about that. So yeah, it gives you the ability. You have 4 different trading companies you can be part of. Well, one of 4. And then from missions, they send you out to take down the other trading companies. So the last couple things I have. So over the last couple weeks, you guys have heard me talk about Call of Duty and their hacking and their cheating and everything along those lines. So they are cracking down significantly on the hackers and what they are doing. They have currently banned 70,000 hackers in the game, but they're not permabans.
I know what you're going with this.
So what they are doing to prevent people from hacking, because they can't permanently ban them from the game. So because there's 2 different games. You have Modern Warfare and then you have Warzone. So what stops a hacker from getting banned from Warzone, going into Modern Warfare and keep playing? So they ping your IP address. And if you are caught hacking, you will automatically be placed into a lobby with other hackers and cheaters.
It's so dope, actually. It's super cool. Could you imagine a whole server full of just cheaters?
No
The
one's
whole thing,
ever
everybody's
losing.
cheating.
So,
I hope I want to see that stream. That's like
Yeah.
that's gonna be fun.
that'll be fucking hilarious. But yeah, they haven't said how long you will placed into lobbies with other reported cheaters, but they said most likely for the foreseeable future. So if you cheat on one, you get placed in the cheating lobby on the other, and then the second your ban from that game is lifted, you automatically be placed into the lobby of the cheaters, or the bad servers is what they're calling it.
The nasty
See, that's
service.
perfect, because then they could still, Activision could still make money off of the game from these cheaters.
Yep.
But not have them infiltrate the rest of it and just ruin the rest of it for
fucking
everyone
stream.
else.
Oh, you've been streaming for 5. All you see in the ticker is 500 yards, 1,000 yards, 1,000 yards, 1,000 yards, 1,000 yards. Everyone's just fucking sniping each other from across the map, and no one's even by each other. No one's even. They're all just standing still, and they're just fucking having AK-47s and shooting at one.
Through the walls.
Last man standing wins. To also prevent cheaters and hackers, they have once again removed trios, as trios for some reason is the most
Cesspool.
played for hackers. I don't know what it is specifically about trios, but they said 85% of all cheating and hacking has come from trios. So they have once again removed it from the game. For a day and a half, they removed crossplay for PC due to the massive amount of hacking and cheating, to see if there was any improvements, and there wasn't, and they reinstated it. And now there is a petition out that has 15,000 signatures that is requesting they move crossplay from console and PC. Or at least there be an option to turn off crossplay in Warzone. There's currently not. In Modern Warfare, there is an option to turn off crossplay. In Warzone, there is not. Warzone is automatically crossplay. So you can be playing on your PS4 and get sniped through a wall 10,000 meters away, and
Yep.
you're fucked. So not a lot of people are happy about that. But they said they are continuously working on it. There is going to be a 15 gig update here on the 28th that will be implementing a lot more security measures.
15 gigs of security updates.
Well, they would
Uh,
have needed it.
yeah,
I mean, shit, dude. I've watched videos and people complaining.
dude, those videos of the fucking hackers and stuff like that, like it's crazy to watch.
Mhm.
Like the people are literally falling out of this, like falling from the sky in their parachute, just just a fucking laser.
There was a video that Nade Shot actually uploaded of a game that he was playing, and he ended up getting killed by somebody. So he ended up deciding to watch this person, and this dude happens to be a hacker, and he ended up getting 45 kills, just like easy. And because like he was using I want to say it was a normal assault rifle, and he was hitting sniper shots like they were the easiest thing in the
Yeah.
world,
It was
and
a
he was shooting
one-shot
through
gun that was an
doors, no
automatic, wasn't it?
problem. Yeah. Oh, I can't remember what it was, but
Yeah,
I know
he
what you're
hacked
talking
it.
about.
He hacked a one-shot rifle into an automatic weapon.
Oh no, I think you're thinking of the dude who turned the one of the shotguns into a full automatic,
Oh
aren't
yeah,
you?
that's what it was.
Yeah, there's that one. This guy, he had like there at the end of the thing, in the little thing where it says how many people are watching you after like they're spectating you. It was like 40 people were spectating this dude, and there was like a couple hundred, not a couple hundred, but there was like at least 50 to 60,000 people watching Nade Shot stream at the time because he was streaming at the time, and he ended
Yeah.
up deciding to watch this, and he just fucking decimated this dude, him and his buddies that were playing. I can't remember who else was playing. It was another like semi big streamer. But it was wild. Like the cheating in this game is insane. What you can do, like
Yeah.
it's not even fun for people.
Nope. No, it's really not. It's fucking crazy. But they're working on it though. I just don't understand why they wouldn't have implemented an anti-cheat mechanism into a free-to-play battle royal game.
Because that would make sense.
I mean, we could say the same thing to Fortnite because they didn't for
Yeah.
a very long time, and I don't think they still have one even after Phase what's his fuck got banned after streaming his cheating.
Yeah. He said he was doing
It
that
was
for
quote unquote just for fun and
just for fun to see if he could do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, you're stupid for fucking trying to stream it though. He should have recorded it and uploaded it to YouTube saying that, or
Yeah.
even that, I think he
With
probably
like
still would
a
have got banned.
huge disclaimer at least, like I'm
Yeah.
not playing competitively currently, I am doing this strictly for like fun and whatnot. But
Yep.
even at that point he couldn't because fucking Nick 31 or whatever the fuck his name is, he's another like big
Yeah.
guy who got yeah, but he has private lobbies that he does like wild shit in, and he gets like 100 of his streaming not his streaming friends, but like 100 of people who watch his stream, like, hey, use this code, get into this game.
Yep.
We'll play like Nick says, or like he could easily done that and
Yep.
been like, hey guys, I'm gonna be using an aimbot. Let's see if you can beat me.
Yeah.
Like that would have been so much better.
Yep. No, I'm just gonna
Yeah.
stream myself hacking into Fortnite.
Yeah, I'm
and
gonna
see what
play
happens.
live with real people that I don't know. Oh god, not even like your fan base, just
Yep.
poor unknowing people getting shot from across the map.
Well, that's a good segue from Fortnite to Fortnite. So over over the weekend, Travis Scott's world tour happened on Fortnite. The very first night, it broke a record. 13 million people for the 15-minute span of the concert were playing the game, making it the most played concurrent game of all time in that short of a span. 15 million people. Currently, it is the most watched video. It is at 75 million downloads, million views between all the different options, as well as it was the most watched current clip on Twitch in Twitch's history. So it broke. Yeah. So this concert, if you haven't watched it, it's visually stunning. It looks
Oh, yeah.
pretty cool. It broke a lot. Yeah, it was, I think, a way to keep Fortnite relevant for the time. They're like, hey, we still have this ability to do this crazy ass shit. Where they had that 15 million people playing the game at one time, which was insane. 10 million, no, sorry, 11 million was the previous record for Call of Duty. Even at one given time, because if you break it down, there's 50 million players who have played Call of Duty, but not at one time.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, think about that: 15 million people playing a game at one time, and the servers didn't crash.
It's impressive.
Yeah. So Fortnite still has its reach. It's still there. We'll see how long it lasts.
Or
and
does
kinda go from
Travis
there.
Scott have a reach?
That is true.
That's the question.
I want to know how many people made a Fortnite profile just to watch this concert Scott because he
Probably a good
debuted a new
amount.
song. So it'll
I'd
be
say like at minimum probably like 30,000.
probably a lot of people like, even if you never played like really Fortnite, I feel a lot of people have an account just to have an account,
Yeah.
like Facebook.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people have a Facebook account, but they may not use it. A lot of people I feel like have a Fortnite account, they may not play it, but they have it. Supposedly, it is now rumored that at the end of his concert, there was a butterfly. And if you recall, during the black hole event, when the black hole went away, there was a butterfly that landed on the one character's finger, and that exploded, and the universe became what it is. That when you were in outer space, you were hovering above different maps. That currently in Apex, every hour you switch islands. So every hour the island resets. So you go to the new island, next hour you go to the old island, next hour you go to an updated version of the new island after that. It is rumored that Fortnite will be doing the same thing, that they will be taking you back to the original island and allowing you to go back and forth.
Or maybe Fortnite Chapter 3's coming.
Maybe. So we'll see. So
They're reworking it again.
I mean, another black hole, which we'll report on every day.
Oh, of course.
Except at the center of the black hole is a man by the name of Butt Boy.
He is
Nah,
the
man,
black hole.
Butt Boy is making
Tucking
the
everybody
black hole.
in. Yeah, that's
No,
what
Butt Boy's
Yeah.
dead. Butt Boy is dead.
Oh yeah,
Um,
Butt Boy. Fuck.
The last piece of news I
Butt
have.
Boy will never die.
I
His
hope-
spirit will
I
live
hope he
on.
does die.
Exactly. The last piece of news I have is an update on Nintendo systems. The big question is, where can you get them?
On what?
Update.
Nowhere.
I said I have an update on Nintendo Switches. Like the big question is, where can you get a Nintendo Switch? And I have an update for you.
Nowhere.
Fuck you, James. I'm gonna say it. It's nowhere. They're still sold out everywhere. You can't get one.
Is this
eBay
just
with
gonna be
a 150% markup.
Is this just gonna be a weekly thing?
It will be.
Because
Yeah,
I think
and,
you said I think you did the exact same bit. We did the exact same bit last week too.
been. I think it's been like the last like 4 weeks, 3 weeks.
Something like that. Yeah, and you and I same exact thing.
Yep.
You ask, where can you find a Nintendo Switch? I go nowhere.
Yep.
That's right, nowhere.
On the moon.
We'll have another update for you next week on the Nintendo Switch. We have for you. Probably not. Let's get to some releases, boys.
Yes, let's.
Releases.
All right, so coming out until the 3rd of May, we have on the 28th, we got Moving Out coming out for the PC and the Switch. That is the Team 17 title that was only on the Stadia for a while. The Inner Friend coming out for PS4 and Xbox One on the 28th. Telling Lies coming out for the PS4 and Xbox One on the 28th. Sakura Wars coming out for the PS4. SnowRunners coming out for the Xbox One and PS4. Gun Crazy coming out for the PS4. Gears Tactics coming out for the PC. Daymare 1998 coming out for the PS4 and Xbone. Ghost Sweeper coming out for the Xbox One. On the 29th, we got Active Neurons puzzle game. Doesn't tell me what it's coming out for. Probably mobile. Gun Crazy coming out for the Xbox One on the 29th. Dread Nautical coming out for the PS4 and PC. Shred 2 featuring Sam Pilgrim coming out for the Xbox One on the 29th. Starcross coming out for the Switch and Xbox One. Crawlers and Brawlers coming out for the Xbox One on the 29th. On the 30th, we got Book of Demons coming out for the Xbox One and PS4. Fairy Night coming out for the Switch. Levelhead coming out for the Switch and PC. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Campaign Remastered coming out for the for the PC and Xbox One on the 30th. Streets of Rage 4 is finally coming out on the PS4 and Switch. Strikers 1945 coming out for the PC. Sega Ages G-Lock Air Battle coming out for the Switch on the 30th as well. Hey, it's May 1st. Super Toy Cars 2 coming out for the Xbox One. Chop in Dish coming out for the Xbox One. Arcade Spirits coming out for the Switch and Xbox One. Robo Squad Simulator X coming out for the Xbox One. Midden Towers coming out for the Xbox One and PC. Gun Crazy coming out for the Switch. Fight the Horror coming out for the Xbox One. And finally, on May 2nd, we've got Anti-Gravitator coming out for the Xbox One.
For movies and DVD Blu-ray releases, on the 28th, Blood Boy is coming to Blu-ray.
Hell
Yes.
yeah.
So if
I
you don't
got
wanna
my
watch it on
collector's
digital-
edition. Got my collector's edition pre-ordered already.
If you didn't want to watch it on digital, now's the time. Guns Akimbo is also coming
Get
out.
the steelbook.
Can.
Oh yeah, the Steelbook.
Guns Akimbo is coming out on the 28th on Blu-ray and digital. Probably get that. I want to see that. I think that'll be interesting as hell. And the only other thing that is coming out that is interested is next Saturday. This Saturday.
Saturday.
On Quibi. Reno
Really?
911 Season 7.
What's Quibi again? Oh yeah, that upscaled YouTube. Yeah.
They are making a new season of Reno 911 strictly for Quibi. That will be very interesting. Huh. And it
I'll
looks like it
watch
has
the
all
clips. I'll watch those videos when they pop on YouTube.
it looks like it's all the same characters too. So
That's
that'll be
cool.
interesting. As well as next Sunday, Rick and Morty season 4 part 2 comes out for anybody who watches Rick and Morty.
Morty.
So that's a podcast, boys. Let's
Oh,
quickly go
fuck.
around the horn. Tell us where we can find you. Get everyone home for their night and tucked in bed and get them out of here. Schroeder, go first, bro.
Yeah. You can find me at Twitch as Splash Screen Gaming, as well as YouTube. Facebook is Team Splash Screen, as well as Instagram, and the Twitter is Splash Screen G.
Udius, anything special this week?
Nothing. I don't have anything like planned, but I do want to. I plan on. I plan on streaming on probably. I want to try to pick up the regular schedule. I can't see if it happens, but Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I haven't quite figured it out, but I do want to start producing more. So
Getting back at it.
figuring it out. Yep, one day at a time.
Feel you there.
And nothing really specifically on the books. I might stream or else record Hellblade because I'm looking forward to the second one, and I haven't. The second one just looks cool, and I kind of want to play the first one first. So
There you go.
I also might get something for my chair. So I, son of a gun. Not the roll.
Get like a little like
A stopper.
stopper,
rug.
yeah, like a door
Say
stopper.
a quick
Or rug.
fix. Just throw a
Rip the
pillow
damn
behind you.
Yeah, I have a coat, but it doesn't seem to be working. Just gonna
Oh,
rip the
Nate,
damn
you
wheels off of it.
There you go. How about you, Nate?
Not a whole lot, honestly. I want to start streaming and stuff again. I might do Call of Cthulhu again. I can't remember what I was doing last time.
That ends.
I was really stuck in this. So the part I'm on right now is just super weird, and it's like you have to find what part of the area matches up with this symbol, and you go through these doorways that are just nothingness, and then you end up in a weird spot. It's just really trippy part. Other than that, after I'm gonna be playing more Code Vein. After I do beat it, I'm gonna be streaming it. I'm gonna be streaming New Game Plus because honestly, I was gonna stream the game to start with, but with Souls games, I don't think I would have had as much fun streaming it from the beginning because I like to really, really focus on just the story and not have to worry about anything else. That's why, like, when there is a cutscene or something, and I mind these cutscenes are fairly long, I kind of just mute and just listen. I don't want to have to like keep paying attention to something. But when I go to New Game Plus and have to beat bosses that are like 2 times as hard as they were and shit, then I'm going to be streaming it for sure. Playing through the storyline again, picking some different ways to play the game because you have those options and not like there is different endings. There are good endings and bad endings. There are things you can keep certain people alive um, by like restoring them, which is a whole different part of the game that I'm not going to ruin because telling you how that works would ruin things. Um, but yeah, I'm going to get some more characters and whatnot, and we're going to see how that goes. Other than that, I have no idea. Nothing really planned. Everywhere, all stream, all socials at YF Kitsune, and that's about it for me.
Beauteous.
How about
James.
Walker?
Oh, what's up, man?
I was
Oh, you
saying,
want me to
I
go?
was saying,
I'll go.
how about you
Hey,
go since you
yeah,
always go
go.
last?
Yeah, I'll go, man. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Find me always at Captain Geach 15. This week I will be getting back into Final Fantasy 14. Yeah, I know.
You fucking
Final
better.
Fantasy 7.
You fucking
Um,
better.
James now I feel is far enough ahead that allows me to play to try to catch up without having people watching the same content twice. So, and I've been kicking myself that I haven't been playing it, but that was kind of the reasoning behind it, as well as I had this vision in my head for Arc, how I wanted to kind of get to a spot in that to move on, but still be able to go back. And it crumbled and crashed and burned when I lost my Griffin. But so, other than that, just Final Fantasy VII. Watching some probably random movies. I put a bunch in my queue that I want to kind of. I want to start watching like new movies because I usually just watch like the same ones over. Speaking of movies, I forgot to mention it. Tomorrow on Twitter, the Russo brothers are having a live viewing party of Endgame. Tomorrow is the 1 year anniversary.
What?
The Russo brothers, the creators of Avengers Endgame, they were going to be streaming Avengers Endgame live, and
I
they will
hope
be
they
doing
got the okay from Disney.
I'm pretty sure they did, but they will be doing it live, and they will be commenting.
Kinda.
Am I cutting
Uh-huh.
out?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it did a little bit. Yeah.
The Russo brothers are streaming Endgame for the 1 year anniversary.
Okay.
The
That's gonna
Russo
be dope.
brothers are the creators of Avengers,
Directors.
the directors. I'm trying to talk quiet because my wife's trying to sleep, so that's why it's cutting in and out.
Oh, gotcha.
So that's why. But yeah, tomorrow at 7 p.m. your time.
Okay.
So it'll be interesting. Yeah, my friend sent that to me, so I think that's pretty cool. If you want to watch Endgame with the creators, now's your chance. Tomorrow's the 1 year anniversary of the movie.
It'd be super cool if they do like the director's edition or some shit.
Yeah, that'd be pretty awesome. Like something you haven't seen before.
Mm-hmm. It's like little stuff, or even like, because not everyone has Disney Plus and whatnot that's seen the movie. So like, even with like the end credit scenes that weren't in the movie that they had cut with like Tony's daughter that was
Yep.
played by what's her fuck from
13 Reasons Why.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I'm probably gonna
I
check
agree.
it out regardless.
So,
Which
but
would
yeah,
be the best for that, but
I'll be watching new movies. I have a whole list on Netflix that I queued last night. So, and that's it for me. Mark.
You can watch me make mediocre content on YouTube and Twitch at MarkDude701. I might play some Planet Coaster, and I still have to play some Half-Life Alyx whenever I get there. So, we'll see. We'll see when that happens. Stay tuned.
Word. And last but not least,
here, close us out, James.
Yeah, I am. It's weird. I usually don't. I promise I'm going to go back to RE3 remake this week. Definitely 100% guaranteed. More Final Fantasy 7 coming along the way. Final Fantasy 7 remake. You can check those out at twitch.tv/People8Studios. If you want to watch the backlog of all of my streams or other videos that I've done, go to youtube.com/People8Studios. And to find out what I'm doing with my life, mainly live tweeting about what I'm doing in a Plague's Tale, go to Twitter at People8Hate10.
Deep.
Not PS.
Sick.
You're muted, Walker.
I am muted. Thank you for that. And as always, you can find us everywhere. Level Unlock Podcast. on the Instagram, on the YouTube, on Facebook, Gmail, levelunlockpodcast@gmail.com, and Twitter at what, James?
LVL Unlocked Pod. That's LVL Unlocked Pod.
And like I said earlier, if you want to become part of the Unlock Nation Level Unlock Pickers, you can at patreon.com/Level Unlock Podcast, where you can listen to today's preamble, which was a part anime corner, as well as all the extra special features of the Level Unlock Podcast. And thank you. We love you. We'll see you guys next week.
Peace.
Bye.
Have a good night, everybody.
Deuces.
See you next week. Stay awesome. Right, we got the credits.
Yeah, I was trying to
Alright.
whisper. Doesn't work. My headset doesn't pick up quiet sounds.
Does not pick up quiet sound.
Not the quiet ones.
It is very quiet.
I just need to
Mark,
hook-
that was so quiet I couldn't even hear it.
Discord's a fucking bitch.
Discord is a fucking bitch.
Discord
just
can
need-
suck my ass.
I just need to hook up this
Fuck.
mic.
Fuck
Yeah,
you, Carol Vasquez. She
Yeah.
hurt someone.
That's fine.
Did your guys' layout change again?
Every time, every week, the
Uh-huh.
positionings are different.
Yeah, I
believe
just-
mine changed.
Ugh. I just redid mine. Well, actually, kind of. I just did the full screen.
Yeah,
I did window capture and then just captured and then full screen the stream, like the Discord.
yeah. Every week, everybody is in a different spot.
Yeah,
Love it.
Yeah,
That's
it's not the
the
same as it used to be.
and they still don't let you
It's the
drag them
good old
around,
days.
right?
Yeah, I don't know why they don't let you